Welcome everyone here to UML Grand Finals. It is time to determine the champion of the Unified Minor Leagues. To bring you that champion, I am Necrox, obviously. Joining me, my faithful companion, Nightstar. We've been through a lot together, man, but the journey, it ends here.
Yep, it's grand finals day, and for one of these teams, they will be crowned the champion of our summer split here, which is very exciting in itself. It's not just the title, you're also getting a massive cash prize. And at this level of play, it's a big reward, and it's also just drives inspiration. If they do have inspirations to climb higher, it just puts that little bit check mark and adds that little bit edge for them to keep pushing.
Yeah, absolutely. And $1,200, that cash prize for first place alone. Nightstar, I know I'd buy a lot of league skins. That's obviously my answer. What would you do? $1,200 straight into your bank account? What's the first thing you're heading off to?
$1,200, that's almost enough to get a scalped GPU. I need a new GPU desperately, and if you know, that
Yeah.
covers the cost of one right there,
All
or a
right, not
month's
too
rent.
bad. I mean, you have to play League all the way through this series at like 30 FPS, but I mean, if you
Yep.
want better FPS, yeah, go ahead and get a scalped graphics card. All right, interesting. But regardless, obviously, one of these teams, regardless of how they divide the money, is going home with the cash prize. Second place, I believe, is also 500, so that's not
Not
too
too
bad. Maybe not
shabby.
a whole graphics card, but still worth.
Indeed. So either way, it is a pretty sizable purse for either of these teams. And the big question is, how is this series going to be? Because for those who did tune in last week, it was a little bit one-sided. So does One Life to Play pose a bigger challenge to Return of the Middlesticks, or will Return of Middlesticks just steamroll straight to first?
Yeah, absolutely could just go all the way through, and they've made a miracle run so far. Couldn't put it past them. Return of the Middlesticks, though, definitely the opposition standing in their way, and only a couple minutes until draft begins. And I do believe there's a substitution actually coming in tonight. So it will be 1Life2Play's jungler being traded out for Mr. Steal Your Gromp. We'll see how he can meld in with the squad in such an important series.
You know, at least he has a name to truly state that he's a jungler. I steal your ground, definitely living up to the name. We'll see if that play translates in game or the name translates in game. And he just goes super aggressive towards that Grump side of the jungle. Um,
I
could
mean,
mean
why wouldn't you? It's literally in the name, just and it heals you as well. It's the greatest
exactly.
camp on Sound Reserve. Scuttle Crab, nah, that's like secondary
Yeah.
objective. Gromp, though, that's high priority for both these junglers. And believe we're just about ready for a draft here as we kick things off in our grand finals. Nightstar, before we even begin the draft here, I got to get you on the books. Series prediction. Where are we headed? Maybe. I gotta say, if I'm gonna answer first, so maybe give you a little bit of time to think, because I'm an instinct kind of guy. Straight off the bat, I'm going One Life just because they're Miracle Run, but maybe
Okay.
you have a different opinion.
I would have to say Return of the Middlesticks is so
Ooh.
heavily favored. And it's not even close. We have to see this first game to really say if One Life to Play has the answers in draft and in game to take it to them. But the fact that we do have a sub jungler, the past 2 weeks of playoff play, they've been playing with a brand new jungler, and that's been what I feel like one of the driving members to their success. So, gonna have to change up the formula just a little bit here.
Okay, we'll see what the formula is indeed. And well, we have the first part of it coming through. It is Tom, Kench, Thresh, and Jin Zhao, all banned by Return of the Middle Six. Very good champions in their different aspects, all very healthy. And One Life to Play going to take away that Aurelia, the Viego, and the Ashe. Now, with their final ban, it will be the Viego as the last one. But that leaves one jungler up that's still high priority, and that is Lee Sin.
Lee Sin, pretty high in priority as of late. However, One Life to Play, they immediately answer back with the Trundle and the Swain. The Swain definitely could be a multi-lane flex if they want to utilize it that way. Also plays very well with the Trundle because it's pretty much point and click pull. At that point, you throw up the pillar and you instantly get the Swain passive proc. And for Return of Middlesticks, they immediately answer back with the Riven Varus, adding some range and also a very skill-reliant champion in the Riven.
Yes, certainly one of the most skill reliant in the game. High skill ceiling there with animation cancels. We'll see where that one ends up going. Probably towards the top lane. Jarvan as well. So one of these is not going to the jungle. Excuse me. We know Boomer de Walrus is a fan of the Swain. So that one
Yep.
probably headed to 80 carry. Trundle Swain bot lane is an option. Jarvan jungle to boot. Lots of CC, lots of engage potential, but now looking to follow up with some damage in the later stages of this draft.
Might not even be that Trundle in the support role. It could just be J4. J4 Swain, very good kill lane.
Very true.
You have so many options with this draft here for 1Life2Play. I like how they are opening here. And we'll see if the spice continues in the second phase. They'll kind of temper it down just a little bit here with the Ornn pickup, but at the same time, just gives you a lot of CC. However, the one caveat I will say about this draft is that it is super low range. Not a whole, like your one range champion in the Swain. Not really a super range champion that you would think of. And he definitely wants to get very close to the opponent to truly have maximum impact.
Yeah, definitely want to start tanking a lot up there on the Swain, really get in the middle of the team, and then your effective range doesn't matter at that point. Stopwatch and Zanya's obviously allows him to sit in the middle and soak some more of that up. Grog is now going to be the answer for Return of the Middlesticks. This one could go in a few places as well. Maybe top, maybe support to match whatever is down there. And Cassio, well, we know that one is going towards the mid lane. We know Varus is going to 80 carry, probably Lee Sin jungle. And combination of the Gragas support. Seraphine going to be the final pick here for 1Life. Interesting. This game is going to be very interesting. We're going to have a lot of talk about when we get on the Rift what builds we're going, whether it's Lethality Varus, whether it's, the AP Seraphine, whether it's the support Seraphine. Things are going to be very interesting once we get to see what runes we're going and what mythics we're going.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a fun game to watch starting out here because, wow, I don't think 1Life2Play brought out an insane draft when it comes to just one-sidedly winning it. It's a very intriguing draft because it's a lot of bruisers, and then you throw in a Seraphine who's going to be able to keep them all topped off and really throw in any extra defensive shielding, healing, all sorts of extra fluff into their health bars, and that's going to help mitigate a lot of punishment that's coming out from something like a Cassio who's just so known to shred through really health reliant champions, and that's exactly what we have here.
Yeah, not going to be able to stack up much MR as well because you have a Varus in the other end, you have a Riven in top lane, so it's not like you can just stack your Merc Treads and call it a day. You still have to worry about the damage that can come through from Duck Go Bark, and I believe actually Loker is headed to the support role this game. Things may change, but for now it is no type with that Lee Sin that you see on the left side of your screen, and Loker headed down bot lane with the Gragas to pair with, so interesting combination here for Return of the Middlesticks, but I mean, maybe as draft is played out, this is so strange. There's a lot of magic damage on 1Life2Play, so the tankier and the longer things get here for Return of the Middlesticks, they're going to be able to stack up that MR themselves. And Merc Tread's an incredibly valuable item against champs like Seraphine, against Swain, who are CC oriented and magic damage on top of it. So I don't know. I'm liking my team more and more. I'm on the 1Life2Play train throughout, but I'm not sure their draft is really helping me sell their tickets here to the championship.
It is a best of 5, so you never know how things change up. But while it is a very interesting draft, as I mentioned before, the win conditions could be a little bit narrow here. It's going to come down to how well does this bot lane do, And then, well, is the Seraphine also able to perform relatively well? It doesn't need to overwhelm the opponent. That's the job of this bottom lane. But over on the flip side, you just have so much power in scaling. Like, there's no one to match this Riven come 25 minutes in the side lane. It's just not doable. Unless if Riven dies 3 times before 10 minutes, it's very, very hard to imagine a world where Ornn is going to be able to take the 1v1 against Riven. So at the very least, we could just see a 1-3-1 setup coming in from Return to the Middlesticks, which is going to be very difficult to deal with. And Cassio, of course, also, if the Ornn ever channels that ultimate, you throw the miasma right on top of him.
Yeah, can't send it back. I mean, it's as simple as that. The combination is very simple for One Life. It is the Ornn into the Seraphine combo and throw the Jarvan over the top. Maybe things get a bit easier, but I don't know. This is going to be interesting how side lanes play out, how the early game skirmishes play out. Things have gotten very, very spicy here in UML Finals for Game 1. Nightstar and I, though, will be waiting on the other side of a short intermission as we get ready for the best of 5 that lies ahead. Don't go anywhere. UML Finals. We'll be right back.
against here. If especially if they get ahead, it's just an absolute nightmare. Point and click pull, essentially. So I love the dynamic. It's just a matter of will they get enough farm to be able to throw down that kill threat? That's the real question. And Barco Duck, his items really say he understands the situation. He needs the
Yeah.
move speed, and he also needs infinite amounts of sustain.
Yeah, also known as get the hell out of town kind of start here for Bark Go Duck because he does not want to be involved in this lane very often and frequent. Just walking away, popping a health pot every time that trade comes through. And for now, we'll keep stock of what's going on. Probably going to be that lethality virus in this game, maybe even a Serpent's Fang later on to negate some of the shielding that can come through from a champion like Seraphine. It is Riven at the top lane, Gragas support with double ignite. Here for Return of the Middlesticks. On the other end of things, it is 1Life2Play using that Trundle Swain bot lane. See how they can get off, but a double teleport going to be always in the back of the minds here at blue side.
And a much more win lane setup here from Firelight, knowing that the Seraphine can't really do a whole lot to him. Seraphine definitely can farm safely, but ever walk up a little bit too close, there's just going to be massive amounts of punishment. And level 2, Senior Ice being able to get that level 2, decent advantage garnered, but now level 2 hit by the Riven. And Attendees has played a good amount of Riven in his solo queue games, and he's got, pretty solid results. So this is somewhat promising for this top lane. We're not going to see perhaps one of those clash situations or something like that where it's like, hey, I heard this is a good matchup, and
Yeah, play Riven.
yeah, let's see how well it goes. But no, he does have this on it.
Yeah, I mean, when you see a Riven player in the NPD, you know something's up. There's something's going to be up here on bot side. The pillar does not do very much all quite yet. Fox going to be chased down for now. The flash is going to be followed with a resonating strike to finish it off. Loco grabbing the kill as he's pulled back in the minion wave. He will not die. Summoner's expended, but first blood over to return.
Really, really nice gank in that bottom lane there. Just side of 1Life2Play, just a little bit too far up in the lane. So they get hard punished and really well executed as well from Loker. And that is a good look, but Firelight could be under siege. It would essentially be a 1v1 though, because the Seraphine's just so far away. It's going to be difficult for the Seraphine to follow up, especially without mana.
Firelight does have his flash. It appears he knows that Mr. Seogrump could be on that side of the map at least, so he is hovering over to the right side, but now as he steps over left, Palza, we have a surprise in the mid lane. Is flash for flash going to be used? The slow is put down to make sure Firelight cannot escape, but he has gone a little bit too far. It is
one for
kill
one.
number 1, but now could be returned out by no type. Not enough damage though, even with red buff. And Jarvan will escape with a safety of his shield, just barely living.
Very slim margins there. Now knowing where the jungler is.
Wonderful. That's so easy. Look at the combo. Pillar, pull, never move, and bark, go, duck. Yeah, that is going to happen every single time.
Yeah, that's exactly what this lane is designed to do, and they just absolutely Shrek the duck there. And we should look, it's probably, oh. Well, Ornn is pretty good when it comes to finding random kill threat in lane, and people still haven't figured out he can do assassin things at this point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, there are very certain windows where Ornn can beat a lot of champions, and in the extreme early stages of the game, that is one of them. That is a point in the game where Ornn's damage is most of the time high enough, and well, Senior Ice shows Tendies exactly what's up, even though this may be a very comfortable champion from Tendies, maybe not too comfortable against the Ornn, as Loker doing his best to set down some vision here. Make sure Firelight is safe. No flash on Cassio into what could be a level 6 Seraphine very soon, and a level 6 Jarvan. That is certain death, but instead they're setting up the play for themselves. Body slam going to be flashed away from. Sonic Wave lands, but under the turret finds a neural network.
there comes the squad. And now it looks like they're just going to move that goon squad straight into that bottom lane. So, side of 1Life2Play, they're going to have to be patient and wait for that wave to come to them. Because otherwise, they are just going to see a repeat of what happened at level 2. No type we play will be able to get himself that crab. And one of the big things I'm interested in seeing coming in from Firelane is what kind of build he's going to go for. As there's a lot of tanks. Does he go for the Rift Maker path and just go essentially full tank? That's what Resolved's mid laner does like to play here. And it's a very good setup for that kind of build, given that there is fairly low damage and very heavily focused on the more magical version of damage.
Yeah, less about the damage that's grounded in reality, as we like to call it, physical damage. Mostly just headed towards ability power. You can see the way things have started off. The Jarvan is the only one building up that AD. Trundle probably going to be headed something like Locket this game, unless they actually really want to index in the attack damage Trundle. But I would imagine probably like Locket instead of a Sundor or something like that, as you can quickly take a glance at what we look like when we're casting video games, fixing out some technical difficulties as the game heads onward. But here we go, straight back in, and hey, not much has changed.
Not a whole lot at all. But Cassio making her way down into this bottom lane. This wave is shoved up, so they are definitely vulnerable, and I think they understand that things are getting a little bit heated up down in this bot lane once more.
Level 6, Titan could make a flashy play happen without his actual flash, though, so just get a little bit more difficult. Need that ward in your inventory to get something like an insec off. But now Tendy seems to have relative control over this matchup, waiting on that little bit of burn damage to come in from the Ornn, and then things could even out once again. But wonderfully done from our observer. This invade is actually so well played around vision. They have no clue that Mr. Stereogromp is up here, as Ornhorde is being called top lane. Tendy's going pretty low. Tendy's may just go down. He's trying to hop away, but little does he know there is a Jarvan waiting in the wings. But okay, we're not moving to it. Hey, blue buff, got it. Worth.
He stole the Grom.
Flag and drag. There it is, into the Cataclysm. One more auto would finish it off. The flash away. Oh, the flash bellows breath into the searing charge. Escape. It cost 2 flashes, but they got the kill.
They get the kill, and now they're in the spot. Oh, hey, what a prediction!
Why would you go in? No type we play goes a little too crazy, and he pays with it for his life. Now bottom lane, double ulti gonna be burned, as Fox looking to trade out back a little bit more. Arrow gonna find the mark. Nice dodge from Buck. Loker's looking to make the play with Ignite, and Fox is gonna go down for kill number 1. Demonic Ascension still popping, but a nice cast to get a little bit more damage through. Flash body slam, gonna pick it up, and Barco Duck grabs wine.
And all of a sudden, this bot lane just flips straight on its head. Another fantastic play coming in from this Gragas pick. And I mean, Boomer the Walrus and Fox, this was a lane that they definitely picked with clear intentions to just slam the lane phase. And they are clearly not slamming the lane phase.
That was really, really well played by Loker, honestly. The ult to start things off, obviously, from Bark is good, but those body slams were ever so critical. Plus, that explosive cask means that they each grab themselves a kill. Even the Ionian boot picked up for Loker. As, ooh, okay, Fox has picked up a Sheen. It is attack damage Trundle. That is an interesting decision. Sunder is a very strong item, but yeah, that's a little bit odd, as we might see one more angle.
All right, he is spotted there, and they are going to know that they are both chilling out in the bush, or should, as, okay, all goes wide, and they're able to survive another day. But wave is shoving away from them, so they need a little bit of help, and I'll be honest, like, Mr. Steal Your Gromp, all he's really been doing is farming up for himself. We saw that play up in the top side, but not too much besides that, beyond that first gank in the mid lane.
And not too much pressure on Firelight. Does have his flash back up. Cassio's most important cooldown to make sure that one can get you to safety against something like the Seraphine Jarvan. And hoping we can get notice if Fox is actually maxing Q or if he's maxing Pillar for the cooldown. I think we're going to find out here in just a second. But because you're going Sunder, you would imagine that you are going Pillar. But instead, no. We actually have word. He is maxing Q. So he can do damage, maybe because of the realization they don't have a lot of AD, but this might turn into a 3v3 very quickly.
I'm going to say it will turn into one.
Oh, nice pillar to the pole, but Fox does one shot. Teleport going to be way too late to the party. Everyone's already gone home.
It's a very fast kill, and they don't even get time to get that teleport in before it's just too late. They will try and utilize that extra man to start out the dragon, but there is still a teleport available on Tendies, and they can just rotate for this play.
Yeah, I'm not sure that 1Life2Play are actually allowed to do this. Tendies is going to be the one to make the call whether he can teleport, and it seems like the answer is no, Nightstar. He wants to stay up here, allow Firelight and Tendies to continue to push their wave, get as much gold. Mythic not online yet. Don't feel comfortable to start that one.
As we get to see the gold pulled up here, Mr. Steel Gromp, he's been doing well for himself, being able to get a sizable advantage in 700 gold. But I mean, again, it's just the fact that he has been farming so much. He's been playing mostly for himself, although we did finally get to see him down in that bottom side, so that's a good sight to see. Hopefully he's ramped up enough. He has the core drinker now completed, and this is where we get to see Mr. Steal Your Gromp do a little more than just killing Gromp.
Yeah, definitely want to get this Jarvan involved early on as we get our first mythics of the game. That is really the spike that Jarvan, I would like to say, comes online, but honestly comes online at level 2. As Barcode Duck may just go down again. Ignite's going to go forward. Subjugate as well. He's not there, but a shot almost finds him. And Loker picks it up with another flash body slam, making sure his AD carry does not die in vain.
Now possible 2v2 in this mid lane. We'll get a little bit of information given away by both of those wards. But it does look like 1Life2Play, they're still interested in this play. However, Elisa has already made his way over to Rift Hero. So now, Steel Grom going to take a peek and will spot him out. They do have a very good objective fight here.
Okay, Petrifying Gaze doesn't find it. Sun's going to land on one, though. Neural Network have a flash
so
away.
split.
Not able to find it with the Blade of the Exile. Flashing away from the Encore, though, so it does not get the extended range. Tendies is too far overextended to enemy lines, and he'll be the first to drop. As the rest of Return of the Middlesticks want to disengage, it is a 1-0 fight, and Rift Herald resets.
Yeah, and with how many AoE control terrain ultimates that they have on the side of 1Life2Play, that was definitely a very good fight for them to take. And even though you saw it was extremely messy from an execution perspective, they still had enough firepower to finish off one kill. However, because Rift Herald did not go down, we might just see a repeat play in that area.
Okay, maybe there's something here. Bot side Loker, by the way, has been incredible on this Gragas. Every single body slam has been on point. I only recall one being missed, but that one wasn't an impactful one, in all honesty. So definitely eyes on him for the playmaking for this team. They have a lot of playmaking members in the Lee Sin and the Riven, but Loker seems to be on form here as we head towards the mid game, where certain champions get very, very strong. And I'm looking at the mid lane. It is going to be Cassio. Riftmaker is step number 1 towards a very, very unkillable snake. Looking to see what they go. No boots. Shame Firelight. Where are your boots?
Yeah, where's the snake boots? Come on.
Get him, chat. Sick him.
At the same time, for the side of 1Life2Play, they want to try and get to that team fight phase as soon as possible. Firelight might offer himself up here as he too close.
Okay, nice. Petrifying Gaze looking
Oh,
for a turn to
look
kill.
at the
Riftmaker makes him
damage!
incredibly tanky. The damage is not there. Ignite's not going to do it, I don't believe, nor will the
my.
poison. Almost a 1v2 effort from Fire.
Yeah, and the big thing. Oh, Loker
Come on,
just
Loker.
misses the timing.
Savage.
But I mean, the big thing here is with this Cassio build, there's not a lot of grievous wounds over on the other side. Yes, you're going to be able to maybe get the Chemtech Putrefier coming in from Seraphine. I would hope so. But if you look at on the board for where their ignites are, it's just on the Trundle. So perhaps lacking a lot of grievous wounds coming into this mid-late game, which could be a very big issue here. And we even see Cassio herself opting for the Oblivion or trying to cut down some of that healing on the side of 1Life2Play, which is definitely warranted with a Seraphine and a Swain.
Certainly is Drake. He's up in 15 seconds here. Nice hard. Loker's the first to be in the river. Good priority, good vision overall. Even that one ward that's about to perish, yeah, that one will go down. But enough information earned. Teleport going to be channeled here by Senor Ice to make sure it's a full 5-on-5 effort, as Tendy's now going to join onto the Pixel Brush ward himself.
It's gonna be big.
They're going to be charging up. Wait for the engage tool. Loker using the body slam to walk away. Pillar and Flag and Drag both committed. Will not find any realistic damage on him. Neural hit with an arrow. Should be just fine. Drake now going to be started by Senor with that pillar up. Another arrow goes wide. Not quite being leashed yet. Finally now some
blue.
DPS on it. But it will reset. This is such a slow fight. No one has really begun any realistic damage. Now finally going to be leashed. Here comes the Horn plus the Seraphine combo. Trying to land a Loper, and Barb's already down for kill one, followed by a support, followed by the mid lane. 1, 2, 3 for free, and claim Drake to boot.
What a team fight coming in from 1Life2Play here as Tendies, he comes down, tries to help out his team, but you're a Riven, you're 0-3, you don't provide value for your team right now, and it looks like for the side of Return of the Middlesticks, they're about to lose everything. They lose the Dragon, they lose the Dragon fight, and now they're about to lose the Heralds. It's just such a great start coming in from this 4th seeded team. They were a squad that went 2-3 during the regular part of, or at least during the group stage. And look at them now in the grand finals and really making a push for that first place.
Yeah, certainly in the driver's seat now as well. Loker actually throws down the Ignite. Doesn't have the cast for a few more seconds. Body slam finds it. Oh, just not enough damage, nor with the arrow. Neural lives with sub 100 HP. That was really, really close there to finding a kill. But regardless, that one will go on. And to the point you were talking about, Nightstar, this team has found so much success off the back of these style compositions. As weird as it is to say, it is a team fight style comp with the Ornn with the Seraphine, as now they're looking to make another play. Mr. Steel Grump goes unstoppable as Tendy's dies for the 4th time, and Riven, man, that sword looks like a butter knife. 0-4-0 and 1-2-1 for the Lee Sin and the Riven. It is not what you need, as Rift Heralds are going to be summoned.
Yeah, and it's just better rotations coming out from 1Life2Play. They're the ones starting to move this Jarvan around here, making plays now that he is well farmed up, has that first item completed. You're really seeing him do an absolute number here on the map. Now has even a completed Serpent's Fang, so you know he is going to be packing plenty of physical damage, which we did have a bit of a critique of after that draft, and you're looking well poised to really just snowball around these team fights. And so far, this threat of a 1-3-1 hasn't come to fruition because of the fact that Tendies has been, for the most part, very, very shut down.
Yeah, and same thing with Firelight as well. Even though there were some good mechanical maneuvers by Firelight, he's 0-3-0. As much as I want to praise him for his performance in mid lane, the gold and the stats are just not there to back up his performance in game 1, and therefore he has to be worried about the threats like the Jarvan and the Ornn and the side lanes, and really isn't at a point to put on that pressure. Plus no teleport for him means side laning is even worse. As we head towards the 21-minute mark here, Nightstar, I'm really liking where 1Life are sitting. They have objectives in their control. They have gold lead in their control and a lot of vision now laid down around this Drake pit, which could spawn in another 2 minutes. And if they get this one, it is just one step closer to game over.
It is, because this is perhaps one of the perfect dragons for them to get in the Inferno, as they are, of course, lacking a little bit of damage, although how far ahead the Jarvan is. He's not slowing down anytime soon.
Oh
Look at him go!
Bark almost just got one shot, by the way. That's Gore Drinker plus the lethality. Bark has to use both his summoners to walk out. This mid turret is an afterthought, and that is a muscle statement there from 1Life2Play's jungler. Mr. Studio Gromp might be a sub, but he is not shy of a fight.
And he's going to be building towards that Guardian Angel. Has it completed now? So that is just so much extra play-making potential. You even see, across the board, there's 3 stopwatches or 3 stasis picked up here from the side of 1Life2Play. They know that the next fight could just be the most important one to set the pace, be able to perhaps snowball that dragon fight into a Baron buff. And that's why they've got double stopwatch and now a Guardian Angel.
Okay, and looks like the response here from Return of the Middlesticks is to look around the top side, whether that's killing off Senior Ice, who is by no means an easy target to kill, or trying to trade away Soul Point for the Baron. We'll see what they want to go for. For now, just hovering both their solo laners. Be able to lock down this tier 1 of the top lane. They're going to find Senior Ice under a short. Remember, there's still a TP available for the enemy mid laner.
What is here?
Bring charge away. Loker does not get it. They're going to go ahead and knock this one down. Drake spawning in 1 second. Meanwhile, goodbye, 80 carry. You can't stand there. Guardian Angel was never even had 2 lives, and you couldn't kill 1. Mr. Celia Gromp knocks him down. It's a trade, 80 carry and Drake for top tier 1.
They're not even going to look for the teleport. It doesn't look like, as well, no type we play. He's all the way up in that top lane. He is not interested whatsoever. And I mean, this draft was intended to kill Varus over and over. And while it did take a little bit to come to fruition, he's starting to die over and over again, as the Trundle Swain combination and now this Jarvan, all designed to just make life absolutely miserable for this lethality Varus. And he's Varus, he's not Ziggs. He doesn't have that infinite range to actually pump out damage from.
Yeah, you're based on your cooldowns, and auto-attacking becomes so scary when champions like Swain, Jarvan with some lethality, and Seraphine are all still around. Plus even the Trundle, who, by the way, chat still does not have Sunderer, so talk to me about that one later, but waiting on that item to be completed.
There we go.
Poor Fox. Hey, just kidding. He finally picked it up. What time is it in the game? Yeah, it's a little late for your first mythic item, as he's a little down a little gold, but he's quite literally a troll. So, you know, I won't judge him.
Oh, but all across the board, big ticket items being built up, and now we're going to start getting the Ornn items coming through as well, which is also going to improve their scaling odds. And no type we play, he might get one shot.
Okay, no type needs to be a little bit careful. Here comes Yonar. Petrifying Gaze may just make it a 1-0 to start the fight, but a beautiful stopwatch is going to keep him safe for now. Nice flash away from the air, but the Blade of the Exile is going to make it a 1-for-1 as both carries down. Shutdown going to be getting over to Tendies as they look to pursue the fight even further. Double kill on over to this Riven. Now a nice body slam going to peel away Bark for a little bit longer, but Mr. Studio Gromp just crumbles him into the dirt. Nice stun going to find its way over the wall with a beat drop. Loker now trying to escape, but he will not be able to. It is a 3-for-2. Again, 1Life win the fight.
Mr. Steal Your Gromp, he's about to steal this game number 1 here, as he is 904, has the upgraded Gore Drink, which, if you ask me what that is, I have no idea what that name is. but he's going to kill them all. Maybe.
Okay, looking for the 1v2. Guardian just still available. It's going to be popped, and I think that's where they draw the line. Yeah, we get your GA. We can kill you once, but can't kill you twice. At least not with the rest of the team coming to save him. But no Baron, interestingly, Nightstar. There wasn't enough, and this is probably the main problem for 1Life is you have to really steamroll a fight, or you don't have a lot of damage to neutral objectives. Like, well, I guess turrets aren't neutral objectives, but objectives, period. And yeah, so they just can't Baron. They win a fight, but all it gives them is a little bit of gold. But shutdowns would be handed over.
They did have a small bit of an opening, as they did, of course, go 3 for 2 in that previous fight. Could have looked to try and make a rotation over straight and start it up right away. But look at the gold differential. It's 4K in advantage of this J4. He's got the most net worth on the map right now, even to over 2,500 gold over the next person, and he's just hunting. He is the apex predator on this map.
He's the great white shark of League of Legends right now. Man, Mr. Gromp, ask as many questions as you want of a sub jungler. I mean, we all talk about how jungle is such an impactful role and how you really need to be in tune with your jungle to make plays, but 904 speaks for itself, and no type we play. He's had a decent game, but has not had a Mr. Steal Your Gromp style game. Now looking at a game, 1 loss. Need to be very careful about how they approach this Drake in about 50 or so seconds, because this is Infernal Soul. You want to talk about lacking damage? Yeah, that would make up for it plus some.
Yeah, it's that combined with the fact that Jarvan is so far ahead, combined with the fact that you have Ornn items coming through. It's just all the stars are aligning here for 1Life2Play, and now pulled into a team fight situation. This is exactly where the side of Return of the Middlesticks do not want to be. They don't have great terrain control. They have a lot of damage, but they like these split setups, not like this.
Oh, Firelight's going to be killed here in just a second after it comes out of the stopwatch. Wait, there he goes. Cassio taken down, but finally they get Mr. Steal Your Gromp. Big shutdown into another return angle. Loker having to get away. Bart goes golden, but I think he will die indeed. Flash cannot be used in time, and it is all retreat. For Return of the Middlesticks, they lose both their carries once again. There is still a possibility to steal, though, with no type alive.
Yeah, no type is alive, and the big thing is Mr. Steal Your Gromp is not alive, so they need to look for the fight rather than this dragon.
Okay, looking for it now. Looker goes a little bit too far forward. He's going to be taken down for kill number 1. And Fox looking at a 1v1 the enemy jungler. Didn't have Sunder for a while, but he's got it now. Kick going to get him to safety. Ward hop as well. He's on the run, just trying to get away to the safety of his teammate. Tendies cancels his recall to try to put on the 2v4 effort. It has to be heroics. They're going to look, but this Sonic Wave doesn't land to the Fox as he's running away. The Blade of the Exile is not available for a few more seconds. Searing Charge does not find the mark. He's pulled back with a nice double beat drop. Gets into a double stun. It is Tendies looking to make the kill. Shutdown going over to No Type. They might just have the damage. Tendies and No Type are going off to the 2v4. Look at this. They've got it. It is only Senor Ice to run, but Mr. Steal Gromp has now arrived to the fight. A flag and drag forward, but Tendies will ward him off. With the danger of this ribbon pursuing the fight even further. Now they're going for a little bit more damage, but the Cataclysm comes back off. Down to the shutdown's now going to be given over to Jarvan. The Petrifying Gaze will not connect, but the final bit of damage will, as No Type cleans up this fight and moves now to the Drake.
And that's such a massive win for the side of Return of the Middlesticks. They're able to execute that 2v4 to perfection, as they're able to split up the fight, pick off the Seraphine that was trying to cut off their retreat, and now they're looking and turning their attention over to this Baron buff. And with Mr. Steal Your Gromp dying pretty much immediately off of respawn, this is not a good look for this jungler, and now his team, they've got to try and salvage this Baron play.
I can't believe it. I do not believe that No Type and Tendies made that happen. As now they're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Yonho has been called down. Smite's going to be used by No Type. Kick, flash! Finds the mark, but the Tron's going to be flashed away. Loker's the first one to be pulled in.
Firelight can't do anything.
Passive. Oh, he's going to go down. Boomer finding the kill. But they need to get out. There's a possibility to Baron now with no support and No Type of low HP. Recalls, I believe, are going to come through, and 1Life are going to be the ones to claim the Baron.
they're actually just going to go and concede it. A massive swap of momentum, just back and forth, Necrox.
Wow.
In this game, number one, and this is exactly what we want to see. We don't want none of those semi-final shenanigans that we saw yesterday or last week. It was just an absolute drubbing. This is tit for tat, blow for blow. And right now, 1Life2Play coming in as the initial underdog. All the circumstances lined up against them, looking to make a statement in game one.
This is incredible from both these teams. The heroics from No Type and Tendies, just as I called them out on the top side, not having a phenomenal game. They almost were enough to save this game for the brink of death, but Baron now in the hands of 1Life will put them firmly in the driver's seat to close out game one, knock down the final remaining outer structures, and push Rodham all the way back in their base. So for the next time that this is a Drake fight, it's even harder to try to get a miracle play like that once again.
And this is going to be difficult. They're up against the Baron minions. And this also helps out the side of 1Life2Play so much, given the fact that they don't have really good siege champions. They've got a lot of great fight champions, but now the Baron buff, that's going to allow them to do a little bit more damage to these structures. Tendies trying to make his way over to one of these side lanes, get those waves cleaned up here. And if we look towards that bottom side, that wave is shoved very far up towards 1Life2Play. So this is the only lane that they can play through. They have to look for a fight now.
Okay, Firelight may just be the target. They're flashing on him. Firelight is down in the blink of an eye with a beautiful flag and
the
drag
back
to
line.
find the kill. Guardian Angel still available. They're going to proc it, but on the other side of the fight, it's Tendies looking to run away with Q3, trying to hop his way over the wall, but Boober's got the kill, and they've got Loker. It is a 1v4, 1v5 effort. No one died from 1Life, and they pull the trigger at the right moment, and they will end out game one with Baron buff in the best of 5 grand finals. UML game one goes to 1Life.
1Life2Play, they are playing with urgency. They come out firing in game number one. They secure that in a very, very statement fashion as well. And of course, the highlight player that's set the trend, set the tempo was Mr. Steal Your Gromp. He did more than just secure the Gromp. He secured everything on the map.
Yeah, 225 farm at the end. Thoroughly ahead of the enemy jungler, but on top of that, 11, 2, and 7 on a Jarvan. That is really, really good stuff from Mr. Steal Your Gromp. And the damage charts reflect that he's way above everybody else. Closest after that were Tendies and Bark. But man, oh man, what a start to the series from 1Life. Got to give it to Rodham, though. They didn't give in. They didn't go out without a fight. There was those heroic efforts down near the bottom lane, but not enough to save the day. The Baron was the thing that decided it all, and 1Life will take our series 1-0 for now. Right, so things just got interesting in UML finals. We saw light from both these teams, but we'll see who can make it happen. Game 2 in the best of 5 will come at you in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. UML finals. We'll be back right after this. Welcome everyone back to UML Finals. I am Necrox, joined by Nightstar, and I'll say it was a good game in game one. Obviously, I would think that One Life ran out with that one at the start of things and really began to snowball quite effectively. But Return of the Middlesticks, they showed signs of hope. And in game one, that's as much as you can ask for. And I'm hoping on top of those signs of hope that they can make those sparks that they had, turn them into full-on flames and ignite this best of 5 into a true series. I don't want to see a 3-0, but I mean, with the way that the draft went, they got what they needed. And One Life, obviously very, very confident in their play style.
And now it's a bit back to the drawing board. We'll see what their decisions are in this ban phase, because they have to take a look at that Swain. They have to take a look at that Jarvan here. Oh, how are they going to deal with them? Is it be a little bit more aggressive in invading the jungle, because the Jarvan got to just kind of farm his way to relevance? And over in that bottom side, are we taking away the Swain? Are we taking away the Trundle? How do we make sure that our AD carry gets to play the game? Because that lane phase, absolutely unplayable for him. And then it got to the mid game, and what do you know? Jarvan's in his face, just one-shotting him every single time.
Yeah, and we look back at draft 1, and it was Tom Kench, Thresh, and Xin that were all banned. These champions are absolute, like, must-ban champions. If the enemy team is willing to pick them, they are just that good. But you also can't give them comfort, so things get a little bit scary here. We are swapping sides, though. I do at least should mention that, as you can see on your screens now, Return of the Middlesticks have selected to go to red side. So maybe things are a little bit different. Viego still going to be banned away this time by them, and we'll see where things are headed. If we're going to get a Trundle Swain bot lane, if maybe there's an Ezreal on board to really be able to stick through what could be a very punishing lane, but similar bans all the way here from both these teams. Jarvan, though, that's the stickler.
So they go ahead, take away the Jarvan. Still could be some sort of Swain Trundle in that bottom side. Of course, they wouldn't be able to pick both of them. And at the same time, for Return of the Middlesticks, you know, a pick that didn't really show much or show in game number 1 was that Ziggs pick. Perhaps the extra range coming in from that champ could help. And okay, it is just going to be double 80 carries coming out straight in that first rotation. It's Graves, it's Ezreal.
Yeah, and this is what I was alluding to earlier. If you don't know an answer, you can just play Ezreal. There's no worry. You're going to be able to farm with Qs. You easily evade, maybe not the pillar, but you evade the rest of the follow-up damage. So if you're worried about it, yeah, you can just play Ezreal. And again, I think for the other side, there's no need to lay off. You can effectively bully out as good as you were, but Ezreal is a little bit safer. We'll see what Turn of the Middlesticks round out here, though, because as you mentioned, it is double ADC, so they're going to need some form of magic damage, whether that be something like a Diana in the jungle, another AP mid lane. We'll see what they want, but regardless, One Life, they're headed back to what they know, and it is this incredible bot lane. But Gwen, that's the magic damage they wanted.
I was about to bring that one up here. Of course, very, very good in the top lane still. And it definitely fits in Tendies' wheelhouse, playing more towards the individualistic playstyle, 1-3-1 setups. And with the Ezreal in that bottom side, of course, you're just trying to facilitate your solo laners, get them going. The interesting thing is, what kind of support do they pair up with this Ezreal? Usually you want a little bit wave clear, something like a Karma, but while the double range seems like a good idea into a Swain, because of how easy it is to just throw down the pillar behind the Karma and just instantly yoink the Karma towards you, it might not pay off as well as you might think. And going into the second phase, Seraphine set banned away by Return of the Middlesticks, taking away the Seraphine and just providing so much reinforcement to that low range composition. And on the flip side, banning away the Bard. Okay. So worried about a lot of roaming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the Bard ban at all. Exactly that. Ezreal is designed to be a 1v2 style AD carry, and Bard is meant to be a 1v4 style support. He just goes and deals with the rest of the map, and even if the enemy support follows, it doesn't matter. You're Bard, you're faster. So Okay, interesting stuff here from
Mhm,
1Life. We'll see what support they want to match up with. They know the enemy bot lane is Trundle Swain. That is not a question. They're going to pick the Rakan. That is an interesting idea. I like Rakan's ability to engage. I like his ability to play a very
mhm.
diverse style of game where you can engage, you can peel, you can do a lot. But
Yep.
into Trundle Swain, I'm not sold that it's the best. We'll have to wait and
Mhm.
see. Maybe you have different thoughts on that one. But Syndra, okay. So some more magic damage. Good blind mid laner, but this could be punished pretty hard if Return of the Middlesticks have the pool for it.
Syndra comes out here. That was essentially what I was thinking of when you saw that Silas ban come out. Just try and take away some of those more uh, or unfortunate matchups here for the Syndra. And the big issue I have with this Rakan pick is Rakan Ezreal is a lane that is solely looking to scale. They want to get out of the lane phase unpunished, but this bot lane is built to solely punish. It's not really doing much else but
Exactly.
trying and kill you over and over again. And it will be a Nivea to come in at the end. This is a brilliant pick against the Swain Trundle because they're so low range. And with the Gnar matchup as well, while the wall technically can aid Gnar in this situation, you also have to be able to get that mega Gnar bar up there to actually utilize. And that's the issue every single time you do see Gnar get locked in. Does he find those teleport opportunities with Mega Gnar, or does he come in as Mini Gnar and he's forced to spend the 15 extra seconds to try and ramp up on a wave elsewhere?
Yeah, and I mean, just to put into perspective what it's like, Mini Gnar is like what Bark Go Duck did last game, or Duck Go Bark used to be. That's what Mini Gnar does. He does a little bit of damage here and there, but overall not really that big of a threat. Mega Gnar is like Mr. Steal Your Chrome on Jarvan. Like just straight in there, I'm killing everyone. I'm one-shotting people left and right. I got CC for days, so I mean, it's just David versus Goliath scenario, and that's right. You're just waiting to play around the Mega Gnar. Whether they can lock someone down, I'm yet to be very sold, because not only do you have Rakan Ezreal, who are very hard to lock down, you also
Mhm,
have Hallowed Mist, excuse me, from
mhm.
Gwen, and Graves, who can dash out as well. So really just looking to dive this Anivia, one shot the burr, shoot her out of the sky with your skeet old shotgun, and after that, it is a very hard team to kill. Not a huge front line for Return on the Middlesticks to soak up the damage. Syndra basically gets to one-shot anyone she looks at this game, but after that, it is Kite City for Return on the Middlesticks. They want to kite, and play this one back.
Yeah, it's all about being elusive over on the side of Return of the Middlesticks. While they are incredibly squishy, and this could provide a lot of pick opportunity for the side of 1Life2Play with the Swain, with the Trundle, with the Syndra. A whole lot of single target damage burst potential when you have the Lee Sin as well. This 2v2 is going to be really nuts from 1Life2Play, but it's just a matter of can they find the targets to execute time and time again on that Syndra ult cooldown.
Yeah, certainly need to find the right targets here for that unleashed power. And as we head into game two, Night Star, as you can see, we're in back in our void where we belong outside of Champion Select. And as we head into game two, I I like what One Life brought in game one. I think their draft is similar. Obviously, you still have the essence of the bot lane. You still have the aggressive style jungle. But Return of the Middlesticks, I feel like they have more to work with this time around. You have a safer bot lane that can't get punished, and you have an incredible zoning mid laner. Cassio can do similar things, but I think Ganivia is just simply better at it. And I got faith. Even though it didn't work out and they like absolutely got train wrecked in game one, there were signs of hope, and I think that their mentals are still intact and can pull out a win.
I think the big change here is the draft differential is going to be a lot more in favor for the side of Return of Middlesex. Last time there was a lot of team fight power coming in from 1Life2Play. I don't think they have that amount of overloaded team fight power this time around. The Lee Sin is much more pick focused rather than the J4, and the Gnar has to be so good with those timings to be able to hit Mega Gnar to get to that team fight form. That could just be game over by the time he's actually able to get online.
All right, we'll see. Game two headed at you in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Unified Minor Leagues Finals will be back after a short break. Nightstar and I are waiting on the other side. Welcome everyone back to UML. It is time for game two on Summoner's Rift. Wonderful start to our series so far. but it is time to see if we can level the score here in grand finals. Okay, we're gonna get a full-on assault into this topside river. 5-man stack in the rush. They're just having a little bit of a party, looking to see if they can get anything, but it should be a good old 5-point. See this one coming. They're gonna go ahead and walk out.
You're given away here. Mr. Steal Your Grab still trying to play the long con.
Okay, they're indexing a lot of time to this. No wards dropped. Actually, there was one, I believe. No, that's a sweeper, so 0 wards dropped for all that. Interesting maneuver here from 1Life2Play, but okay, that is how we're gonna roll for the beginning of this game. Nightstar, quick check, as I always like to do. It is heal on Boomer. It is double TP, Quadra TP, and a Ghost up in topside for Tendies, just to make sure if he's on a target, he can run him down.
It is a Penta TP in this
you're
game, as we've got the Ezreal rocking the teleports as well here. So, this is another kind of adaptation to the fact that you don't really get to play this bottom lane. So you're getting your early tier, you're getting double potions, and if you take a whole lot of damage, you'll just recall, get yourself maybe a cull, and come back with the teleport, hopefully not losing a whole lot of CS. So it's once again pretty sustain oriented, but Tendi's going to town already. This is level 1 Gwen. She just does so much damage.
Oh, okay.
So
all right. First blood in the bot lane, and they're gonna pick it up. And now looking for it is Looker has to walk out, but this might be a little bit interesting. Try to get out. Ignite's going to be getting there in time, and that's how it went down. Fox picks up the kill, no issue. That was very interesting. I got myself a little bit confused, but if you want a part of the action, Nightstar, which I know you always do, make sure to check out the fall applications. Unified have it open, and honestly, if I'm Loker, maybe don't look at those applications. But, you know, if you're in chat, you want to you think you can do better, go ahead. Try your own hand.
Don't look at it while you're in game. I think that's what Nextbox is trying to get at here. If you're trying to sign up while you're level 1 recon, not a great plan. He gets yoinked once more, and remember, like, this is a bot lane that wants to scale, wants to get levels. For them to die level 1 is almost expected, given the fact that they can't ever play level 1. But for them to not respect it at all is a little bit bizarre.
Yeah, definitely very interesting. They had the experience last game, so it's not like it's a brand new thought in their minds. That one is a little bit strange to me. Top crab smite. I think it's secured by Mr. Snare Gromp. Nice ward hop over the wall.
He wants revenge.
That was generated, but maybe a 2v3 effort here. No type has to flash if he wants to escape it. Instead, it's going to be a flash from Mr. Steel, who gets away at sub 100 once again. Goodness me, this game is just cracking on. Nightstar, everyone wants the action, but nice smite still there from Mr. Steel. Is aptly to the name and should just be a trade of crabs, though.
He does get the crab stolen here, and now Sigino Ice. Oh, more damage coming in that bot side, but there is a jungler in the area, so gotta be a little bit cautious here. I'm pretty sure he's coming in from behind.
Yeah, no type wants this, but Boomer's gonna immediately heal, teleport behind, and now they have to run. Teleport's gonna be a little bit late from Firelight, who's trying to join the fight. Nice stun, but Loker's able to escape with a nice battle dance. Can there be any follow-up damage, though? Fox going low, Fox going down. It is Bark to pick up the kill. One more Dark Sphere will not land. A couple Mystic shots going out as well. Wait for that stun from one more. Nice. Never move in. Loker very low. Looking for it. Goodness, these teams are willing to fight at all costs. Both top laners could arrive, but instead they will just zone away as much as possible. 4-man strong here on bottom lane, whacking away at these plates.
Tendi's looking for the play. Has
Tendies?
has the 1v1. as he
Who
pops
said
the
don't run
ghost.
with scissors? He has ghost. He just sprinted with them.
Yeah, absolutely just obliterates Signor Ice, and it's a different story here up in that top side. Last time it was Signor Ice on the Orn that was able to get the 1v1 at level 5. This time it's the complete opposite story. And going back into that bottom side, the consequence of that Syndra teleport was just not good. She teleports down to that bottom lane, had no mana to work with, couldn't pop out to scatter the weak, that all-important stun combination, and now we've got more action.
Fox ignited, going low. Last auto is going to kill him. Loker sadly gets it with the ignite, but doesn't matter. A kill is a kill. And this game is very, very different. Absolutely, this top lane is just so bad. The freeze is horrendous right now. Senior Ice cannot step up to his wave, and guess who's coming up there as well? No Type is headed towards that top sides. They need to call someone up to break this freeze because this could last for a really, really long time. Let's see if we can get it under.
Oh, he's going to be able to get those, but there's so many range minions that this freeze is just going to keep going here. And the fact that Graves is now topside means that if it gets contested, you can just go ahead, take that 2v2 here, especially with how much damage is going to start coming out of this Gwen in the sustain with the Leeching Leer already completed.
Level 6 hit by Tendies. I believe he used his ult on that as well. Yeah, there it goes on cooldown, so that is not available. Maybe a little bit of pressure off Senior Ice at this point, but Tendies didn't have a great start to game 1. Bad start to the series overall. This is a much, much better laning phase from him, as Freeze didn't last for all that long, actually. Just kidding, and instead it might be Tendies. That's on a little bit of trouble. Bone plating now being taken. Level 6 in. Nard doesn't even need to land the stun. Tendies now in a 1v2. Stunned up inside the Hallowed Mist. Kicked back. And there's just no escape route. Those scissors, they got dull pretty quick, Nightstar. And they return the favor top lane.
It's definitely not those kitchen scissors where they've got a big edge to them to cut through meat. That was an instance of safety scissors. Did not have an edge whatsoever.
Kindergarten scissors. You ever get those? The little children scissors? Man, those are annoying.
They're flimsy. The finger holes are way too small for your adult hands or college hands, depending on, the age. You just can't hold them. It's so clunky. But now in this bottom lane, Loker blocked up once more.
Yeah, that
might be a party in this bottom side.
Okay, goodbye. Remember now front line, so Unleashed Power just grabs the kill. Instead it's Fox that grabs it. I believe the ignite once again, but it doesn't matter because of course we're going Sunder Trundle. So a little bit more gold there for Fox as he works his way hopefully towards not a 28-minute Sunder. A little bit earlier than that one is. Yeah, that combo every time. Pillar, into pull, into never move. It's going to take a chunk out of health bar, and it doesn't feel like Bark and Loker have gotten away a reason to deal with it. They just keep on getting hit.
They're confused, and now Tendies. Look at that damage. Dies, but more than willing to come straight back and take it to him once more, and you can tell in the CS differential, he's got the stats to boot to live up to that talk here. Now, I mean, Senior Ice does have the teleport, so he is able to get back, but it's still advantage wholly in favor of Tendies.
It certainly looks very good up here for him. Senior not going to opt to try to set up a freeze here. 3 casters isn't typically enough. As even Firelight gonna rotate on over. 4-man effort, by the way. Looker sitting in the brush. Mega has now timed out, so if there were ever be a dive, it would be now. They will call out. The rest of the team had begun to rotate over. Instead, they will just opt for Rift Herald if they can get it, but I don't think they can. I think they're gonna have to back off this one.
Loker's not level 6.
Neural network hop over and quick draw over the wall. Plus that battle dance means everyone leaves Shelly to go right back to where she belongs in her little Baron pit.
Loker not level 6 is kind of key here.
Oh, that pillar's invisible. Okay, now we see it as Firelight immediately flashes out. That's a lot of damage. No type commits everything, but does not find the kill. Fox lives.
And that's actually the ultimate coming out from the grave, so he won't have that up for the next fight, which I assume is coming up soon because there is that dragon coming up in 8 seconds, and you also, of course, have the Rift Herald still up as it is pre-14. That's also an objective that you do want to consider fighting over, and resets coming through. Mr. Steal Your Gromp wants to yoink this dragon now as everyone is setting up, and Loker, yeah, he's caught on a war top side, so you know, hey, even if they are able to pull a bunch of people over, they can't pull over the Rakan.
Yeah, and good objective control here so far from Mr. Stereogomp. He's had an incredible start to this series. If you did not get a chance to check out Game 1, I highly recommend you go and watch this Jarvan gameplay because not only was it incredibly performed, almost a comeback story near the end from some incredible plays from No Type and Tendies, but Lisa now in the hands of Mr. Stereogomp. He has earned a CS lead plus 2 Drakes to his name, even stopping the Rift Herald attempt in return, so good jungle pressure here. And we'll see how this one plays out because, yeah, Boomer to Walrus and Fox, they're playing to save 2 deaths on Fox, but he also has 2 kills and just working on that Sundra build, I believe. Tendi's thinking about going in here, but Gwen is not a champion that likes to dash around. You want it all in or not. Here are the needlework scissors. Mega into the wall. The stun can't find it, though. And Senorice barely escapes once again. Tendi is just knowing that at any moment this fight could break out, but a close one, ults traded, but both top laners live.
Any fight with the Gwen is always so hard to read because of just how much sustain is on that champion. Even with just the leeching Leer, you just saw such a big chunk of healing come out, and given the fact that there is no heal reduction coming in from this Gnar build, that heal is just going to go unquestioned. But now Pinsir coming in, neural network, he is trapped.
Nice sidestep, but it does not matter. Firelight picks it up with the Storm, and an easy first kill there for the Nibby in mid lane. Well played by Loker to make sure there's no escape route, and he's going to help Firelight shove in the slave. Mr. Stereogomp's going to get here and collect it, but nice stuff there from Rodham making plays across the map.
And speaking of collecting, we do have the Collector built up onto this grave to make a very intriguing first item. Definitely not something we would see normally. Usually you want to go for either the Mythic, or if you're going to go for a lethality item, it's going to be something like the Serpent's Fang. And I have got a lot of questions about this because LDR has insane value given the fact that there are so many high health bar members on the side of 1Life2Play with the Trundle, with the Swain, with the Lee Sin, and with that Gnar.
I guess the hope is that no one stacks any armor and you can just get full value of the lethality. Senorice now should be just fine to avoid from the rest of these scissors snipping away. Tendi's trying to run with a ghost. Pillar is nicely placed though. Oh. And a kick to the throat will take out Tendi's at a quarter HP. Bark up here, but not in time to save his teammate. And Tendi's now relegated to 1 and 2 with a nice CS lead, but 2 deaths sadly is okay. Invade time. Even though they have no top laner, which seems very interesting. They'll lay down a bit of vision and start up Herald. Question mark. I think you guys don't have rights to this one. Tendi's does have teleport. In a few seconds.
Has Mega.
If they wanted to join, indeed, Senorice is going to turn Mega any second. Maybe looking for that engage. Has no hop, but the Sun's going to find it all the same. Mega Gnar into the wall is going to lock up Loker. Nice charm. Beautiful exit away, and the resonating strike will not follow through. Flash E is not enough for Mr. Stereogomp, and now he's overextended. Oh. There's the Collector, and Graves has come to grab the paycheck. No Type puts him in the ground.
big skirmish win out of really nowhere for the side of Return of the Middlesticks. As I mean, one life to play, they do get one. Oh, actually, they didn't get one. Forgot. I was like, you know, Loker's incredibly low, but they weren't able to finish him off. And it's just an all-around win for Return of the Middlesticks here. Just a minor one, but a win nonetheless. And this is what we expect from them this time around. Getting CS advantages, getting large leads in the solo lanes, yet also not conceding too much in that bottom side of the map. As Aloker has stabilized after that level 1, hasn't died since, and has also been able to find 4 kill participation.
Loker has been insane throughout this series. I mean, that right there sums up his gameplay. The Gragas, I think, was even better than that, surprisingly. Fox in a little bit of danger, has to flash away. Nice play from Looker once again. Beautiful flank. And Fox goes golden, but just to die. Bark well timed on the true shot. Barrage pulled back onto Looker, but he'll be just fine. Howard missed. Gets Tendies out. 3,000 on the Drake. Mr. Steel.
Oh, it resets.
What his name suggests. Does he go in? The answer is no, I believe. Okay, heading back up, though.
Oh.
Looking for it. No. It's been secured by Firelight. Never had a chance to find a way in. Neural Network, though, is in a little bit of trouble. He has no flash. And Firelight's going to commit his own to make sure the Everfrost lands. Hand that one on over to the AD carry once again. And all of a sudden, Return to the Middlesticks. Now liking the way this game's going.
Return of the Middlesticks starting to turn on the Jets here. Senor Ice had the teleport. Didn't use it. Probably didn't have great Meganar timings there, as we are also going to see a kill in the mid lane somehow. As we're going to get a quick replay. Mr. Steel Ear Gromp going in, getting some damage down, but all for naught, as this is an electrocuted Nivea. So she does some pretty big burst damage.
Nice. Well played from Firelight and Looker once again, honestly. These two have been a bright light for Return of the Middlesticks in a pretty dark game 1. But this game looks so much better for them. They now command a lead. They now have angles to approach from, and there's not just a random team fight breaking out that costs you the entire game. But we know what went wrong in game 1. It was the Baron call from Return of the Middlesticks. That was their big issue. Need to avoid that one in game 2 if we want to see this series tied up.
Have to be clean around that area. But for the side of 1Life2Play, this is where their composition runs into a bit of a trough, in the fact that they don't have a whole lot of team fight damage. They're very, very reliant on this Syndra from range, because the rest of the composition is very low range. They need to find picks. And then transition those picks into odd man fights, and hopefully they're able to win those. But they don't win even man fights here, as Dragon is going to be coming up in 3 minutes, but a whole lot of attention being brought into the bot side nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely wanting to set things up around here. Bark, happy to chill out on top side. His teleport's going to be available pretty soon, so even if something did kick off, he could always join if necessary. And maybe looking for a dive here over the wall. Wait for a ward to be placed down. Loker's going to kick it off with a quickness. Nice E, but it's not enough. The stun didn't land, and no type just burns him down immediately. Well played once again, and Loker to kick things off, of course, because this guy is just relentless on his engaged supports. Angles that you don't expect, and they're going to make the Syndra relegate to 0-3-1 now. Neural Network having a rough time staying alive.
And at this point in the game, you don't have enough control over your own jungle. You don't have the vision. Mr. Steel Your Gromp has still been very, very farm-driven here when it comes to his pathing. He's trying to get as many camps as possible, but this time around, you're a Lee Sin. You bring single target damage. You're looking for picks. The farm is not as great on you as it was in the previous game, where it was very possible for him to possibly just one-shot 2 or 3 members with his combo. This time he can only do that to one person. And that's where a lot of their issues are stemming from, is the Lee Sin's been not contributing as much. Still has 2 dragons, which is good. But his team needs a lot more from him than just farm numbers.
Yeah, definitely needs to get involved. Lee Sin is a champion that likes to get involved early, and you're going to get outskilled by a Graves who is building a very strange path, but regardless, eventually we'll pick up a Mythic, I would imagine, after this LDR.
He's getting LDR. Yeah. He just got LDR and Collector. He's just like, yeah, this item might have been bad to build straight up first, but you know what? We'll make it up by buying the better item anyways. And I'm honestly very confused, but...
I mean, if you're squishy, he kills you because Collector, and if he's tanky, he kills you because LDR. So big brain from No Type, I guess. He's just building items that kill opposite classes. 10Bs should just be fine, unless Mr. wants to try an angle, but teleport, interestingly enough, 10Bs actually is going to get pillared. Now has to use the Hollowed Mist, though. Fox going very low. Look at this Gwen. The damage is just unreal. The sustain is even worse. It's just really Gromp at 1 HP. Looker now looking to make the play with the quickness. Going to find 2 charms. Now retreating back to the safety of his team. As Senior Ice wants to make the play with a 2-man now ulti, but it's not going to stun just quite yet. As Bark going low. Bark's going to go down to the Unleashed Power. Now the re-engage may be enough, but instead 1Life walk away with low health bars on their mid jungle. It will have to be forced out support jungle, excuse me. Another stun lands from Firelight. Every one of those matters. Pulled back. Pillar. Boomer needs to be very, very careful. Stopwatch double root, though. Firelight going low. Oh, what a stopwatch, and what a beautiful shot it was. Firelight going to go into his egg, but it is not enough to kill off the bird. Boxley going to chomp him out, but Tendies and Loker will reinforce. One more stun going to force one more flash. Kick back. And Tendies is going low to the turret, but that will now go down. Everfrost barely going to whiff out. And that should be the end of the fight with Drake secured.
Wow. Return of the Middlesticks. They are really stepping on the gas here in that bot side fight. They bring the teleports. Their teleports at this point are just more powerful, and the side of 1Life2Play, they were very reliant on those extra man members or fights in the previous game because, well, Firelight, he didn't have teleport. So they were almost always able to get man advantages for these skirmishers or more men fights. And this time around, it's starting to show some gaps in their team composition. The Lee Sin not showing that much impact here. Still going over to the Serpent's Fang as well. So really all about the one-shot combo. You're not really looking to build utility, reducing any shielding because there's not a lot of shielding. It's all about just getting maximum lethality. I would almost think that he's going to get Black Cleaver or maybe even a Last Whisperer item to really go for those one-shots.
Yeah, just straight up two-tapping people left and right. There's Invade once again here. Blue buff, I think it's smited away, but Fox may be gone. Destrundle has no counterplay to that wall. And No Type is now on a killing spree. And look what time it is. It is time for Baron. No support from Fox means the attack damage has gone down that much more. But Firelight on zoning duty will be spotted out by a blue trinket.
They don't have a tank, though.
Bark needs to DPS this. I mean, there's not enough outside of it. Firelight here on the front line once again. Doesn't quite have the ulti where he wants it. Now it's to reposition. Tendy's now going to force the fight. Here comes Loker once again, but Loker's going to be taken down for kill one, but Boomer's taken down as well. Unleashed Power does nothing to Tendy's. Double killing over to the Gwen. Mr. Sue trains it back onto Bark, but Senor Ice now looking to make the play. Nice flash out, and I don't think he'll die. No, he won't. Tendy's on a rampage. 5-2-3, 5-1-4, and 3-0 for the top side of this red side squad. It is beautifully executed. They cannot Baron, but it is so much better for Rodham.
Oh, poor Fox. He is trapped.
Oh, it's gonna subjugate? Why?
Uh,
And ignite? Really? Fly, birdie. Fly away.
right afterwards, we see Fox. He sold the Sheen. So, I don't know. I don't know how to break that one down, Necrox. But this
Changes
Trundle
mind.
pick, it was all about facilitating for this Swain and going full damage in this team composition. Not exactly the ideal method. I was actually sort of hoping that he would go for something like a Imperial Mandate, add a little bit more damage to his squad because they're pretty low damage. And well, hey, it's two different this is actually kind of pretty, you know?
Yeah.
I like
Wait,
the
which
word
ward do you
skins.
like more? Which ward do you like more, though? That's the real question.
I like the left one. The left one. It's got that green.
I'm not sure. I think it looks kind of like the LEC ward, but
Is that the Runation?
oh,
like
it
that's Runation.
might be.
It's got that edgelord kind of feel to it, you know? I'm all about Viega.
I'm not, but all right. I actually hate that champion. He's so egregious, but maybe the lore is pretty cool. Even though he literally kidnapped someone.
True.
That's a little messed up. Tendies is messing up a
getting
few
messed
members of his own.
Oh,
Boomer, by
lordy.
the way, is just gone. Firelight puts one more icicle on his back, and now No Type's going unstoppable. Senor Ice does not mega forward, instead he mega backward, and he's mega gone. As the rest of the squad looks to pursue the fight, a double killing over to No Type. They get Loker in return, but that is all they're gonna get. Tendies may just fall, and indeed he does, but it's not enough. It's 5 for 2, and that math checks out in my book. Triple for No Type on this Graves, who is still mythicless, by the way. Just waiting for the wave to come on in. The final touches should be put on this one. They're going to secure this Drake and secure probably a mid inhibitor as well. Bottom look like a completely different squad.
This time around, they're able to play the lane phase. They don't have to worry about the team fighting potential on the other side. They're 10k up, and if you look at the bank accounts here, 2.5k on this Graves. He's got more than enough to almost complete a straight up mythic, and now the chase is on. Can they get any kills back? But no, there's just too much damage at this point, Necrox. It's just going to be a runaway freight train at this point.
Yeah, this one is all gone for 1Life. There is nothing you can do at this point. Mr. Sirogromp even had kick up for that, but just not able to get in range. The carries are too evasive. Tendi's now looking to run down Neural Network, who has no flash. Unleash power just quite a bit. Has stop punch of his own. Good God, he literally just 1v4'd and took out the enemy mid lane. His Baron is being taken all along as well. Return of the Middlesticks are going to take this one down. Wall even there. Senor Ice tries to desperately hop over and chase down a fight, but there's nothing to be had. They give you nothing, and they take everything. Return of the Middlesticks. Oh, how they have returned in Game 2 in the Grand Finals. Look how desperate 1Life is to track them down, even hopping into bushes blind. They will not find the enemy. They will retreat back to the fountain, spend all that hard-earned cash, and probably an ARAM their way to a victory.
This was a complete turnaround from game number 1, so looking forward into game 3. Does the side of 1Life2Play, do they stick to the Swain Trundle bottom lane? And what is their next pick when it comes to this jungle? I think those are the big questions that need to be asked here. The Syndra and Gnar, they didn't really get to display their power. They didn't get to showcase the power that they could have in this draft. And Neural Network, he just gets blasted. Almost got collected there.
Yeah, I was saying, pretty sure that was very close to collector damage just from the first combo instead of just the burn after that. But we'll see what 1Life decide to do in their next game. Still waiting on this one to finish, but I mean, we got to figure out what side they want. I would imagine that they go back to red side, but of course, maybe there's something different that they have in mind. Inhibitor taken in mid lane. Tendies and No Type pushing out this bot lane as well. Inhibitor turret now under fire. You gotta draw your line somewhere. Shot barrage tags up 2. Nice stun pull. Tendies golden now.
Oh!
Senorites huge no to the back line. But takes
No
all
follow-up.
far. Fox going down and Senorites will follow. Stun into dead. That was the hero play you needed, but if you can't win that, you can't win nothing. Return to the Middlesticks, strike back in game 2 with a vengeance, and they will take down 1Life2Play just as hard, if not harder, than they got taken down in game 1. Egged up, but it does not matter. The pad, the stats, and take game 2.
An absolute dominant 30-minute game coming in from Return of the Middlesticks here as they shellac the side of 1Life2Play. 17k gold advantage at the end. 20 kill advantage at the end as well. They just got the lead from just straight laning. If Mr. Steal Your Grob's just focused on trying to steal your Grob, he's not impacting the lanes. He's not trying to threaten these lane states, and that means they get out scot-free. They don't get threatened, and what do you know? They really rise to the occasion. They come out with such large CS advantages, and because you have Aleeson not some sort of big team fight champion, you can't have those big wombo objective fights that they had in game 1.
Yeah, it's not the Seraphine Ornn. It's completely different, and can't use the same game plan when you don't have the same formula here for 1Life. But Return of the Middlesticks, much better for them as they take 1 victory under the belt. It is a best of 5, so 2 more games could determine your grand champion and who gets to buy a whole bunch of league skins or buy a new scalped graphics card. Nightstar and I'll be back in just a few minutes after a short break while these teams get ready for game 3. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone, here to Unified Minor League's final series between Return of the Middlesticks and One Life to Play. If you were not here before the break and for the rest of the series, we are tied up at 1-1. Everyone looked good at some point. It is just a question of who continues to look good in the future stages of this series, Night Star. I mean, we talked about draft a little bit towards the later stages of that game. We know where teams are going. Return of the Middlesticks will be back on blue side, One Life all over on red, but that's not the real kicker. The kicker is this bot lane. I feel like it unlocks what the rest of the team wants to do. Are we getting another Trundle swing?
That's definitely one of the big questions here. And I think they'll probably look to go for it again. And their adjustments are going to be, well, perhaps a more team fight oriented jungler here and maybe a little bit stronger lanes as well. Either that or just not the Gnar. I've never been a big fan of Gnar because of how the ultimate works. Is you only get to use it when you are mega. I just think that there are just other teamfight champions that can operate on better timings than a Gnar, which is so hard to coordinate in some of these settings when things are heated, and especially when you are behind.
Yeah. And you're not the ones really pulling the trigger. You're not the ones initiating the fight on your own ground. Things can get a little bit tricky to manage the Gnar timer. So maybe that one will be benched, but the Kench has been benched. The Clog is back to deny the Frog. Whatever you want to say, we're not getting that disgusting champion once again in game 3. Aurelia and Gwen actually going to be taken away. So a little bit of respect being shown, but hey, that Jarvan, that is much more respect over to Mr. Stereogromp for the incredible performance he had in game 1. Like to see that one taken away as well.
Let's go ahead, take away the strong solo lane champs that the side of Returning of Middlesticks can bring to the table. Aurelia and Gwen both showcased by attendees. And we'll see what this final ban is. I don't think they're going to be looking to... Well, actually, they might take a look at that Anivia pick, as that was definitely a champion that they didn't really get to play against. And what do you know, Necrux? It's Viego.
Yeah, I was looking as you're saying that back at the game 1 draft. It was Ashe and Viego along with the Aurelia. So Ashe is still available, but Viego absolutely just first pick it. I mean, why wouldn't you? It is the best champion in the game by a long shot. And Ziggs is up there. Certainly not as good, but Ziggs is very good indeed, and Set as well up there amongst the better champions. Flexibility is the name of the game here for 1Life. Ziggs obviously very, very good in the bot lane. Lots of pressure, lots of ability to bully out other marksmen. Set can be flexed around as well. But yeah, again, these two bans that you now have committed have left open two other champions, Ashe and Viego. And guess what? Return of the Middlesticks are not wasting any time. They lock them both in.
You get both of those champs in here. Going to have the extra range to also deal with the Ziggs pick if it does go into that bottom lane. But now what do they go with to round out this first phase? I almost expected them to just lock in Rakan here, but no, it's going to be the Anivia instead. And against the Anivia, you could just go ahead, send the Ziggs into that middle lane and just have a bit of a farm bonanza going on there. And if there's any play that's happening on the side lanes, the Ziggs will be able to contribute a little bit better than the Anivia, being able to walk out there and chuck a Mega Inferno Bomb. But we'll see how they settle down with the rest of their draft. But once again, Lee Sin to come through. So very focused on hopefully we get to see a little bit more early action is really what I'm trying to get at. This Lee Sin didn't get off the ground very well game number 2.
Yeah, you want to see Lee Sin get involved. That is what Lee Sin likes to do, is take early skirmishes. And Viego can do that, but post 6, Viego is so much better. Lee Sin, there's a very clear opportunity where Viego can't get ultimate resets, more just about champion resets. And hey, if you're dead before you get a champion reset, you're not getting any of that health back. So definitely good there. Anivia would struggle into Ziggs. I'm interested whether Neural Network is willing to play that one. We've seen him play mages like the Syndra, so Ziggs isn't too far out from that one. And Anivia hates Ziggs. She hates two style champs. One, champs like Malphite, who don't care about your wall and your zoning. They just run at you, and they don't care what you put in front. Other ones are ones that outrange you. Ziggs, Xerath, Vel'Koz, things like that, who have incredible range. And interesting to see Anivia actually played into Ziggs so early, but regardless, second phase of bans are already through. We've been dragging this one along. Seraphine, Galio are going to be taken away along with Leona Target, focusing that support role. And speaking of that support role, it is going to be Nautilus in for 1Life.
Nautilus locked in here. Doesn't really say if the Ziggs is going into that bot side, because you could certainly pair it up with him regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And over on the side of Return to the Middlesticks, they have a couple options. It should just be Viego going into the jungle, and okay, knowing that it is Silas in that top side, they go ahead, lock in that Chameleon immediately, lock in the Braum. So it's pretty cold bot half of the map for the side of Return of the Middlesticks.
I like the whole theme we got going over here. It's like blue all the way through. Camille messes up a little bit, but she's got blue eyes, so I'll let that one slide. On the other end, it's like red and I don't like
red
it
and
much.
brown. Red and brownish.
And blue's cooler, honestly. I mean, no pun intended, actually, but blue genuinely is cooler. Corki. So Corki will be headed mid. That's almost guaranteed. Levels are just too good on that champion. And Ziggs will be headed bot lane. So Ashe Braum, incredibly good into something like the Ziggs. You get not only to rush a Vamp Scepter on Ashe to deal with all the incredible poke, but then later stages, hey, guess what? Ashe gets to build Wit's End and not care about any of your damage. So really good response from Return of the Middlesticks. I like what they're doing with their draft, and I think they have good split push. I think they have a great 5v5. So love what I'm seeing here. 1Life2Play. They need to execute around Corki packages, execute around Lee Sin early game, and Ziggs poke. Lot to do on the red side, and a lot to chill on the blue.
For the side of 1Life2Play, I think they've got great ultimates for their side. They've got a lot of big cooldowns that will set up for possible massive team fight potential for them. However, outside of it, they do have decent range with the Ziggs poke, with the Corki poke, but that's really all that they do have, and it's going to come down to how well do they use those long cooldown timers, such as the big ultimates that they have, or this big Corki package that does come online as well. And it's all about fighting around those big cooldown timings. And for the side of Return of Middlesticks, they've got a lot more flexibility. They can team fight, as you mentioned. They can solo lane or 1-3-1, and they kind of just do it all.
Yeah, I mean, I really like their draft. And the one thing I will say is about when it comes to fighting, when it comes to objective setup, is both these teams really want to be in the river before the other one. So definitely keep an eye on, as we get into this game, which team gets to set up, because Anivia does not do good with running at the enemy team. That is not her forte, and the same thing with Ziggs. He's a little bit better at it, but Ziggs wants to be sitting back, throwing bombs, putting out his minefield, and being a nuisance. So both these teams really want to get into the river and set up camp before the other one can get in.
Yeah, it's just so hard to fight through choke points here. They also have to do it together, because if you kind of stroll in, really really willy-nilly here, then, well, you're going to get cut off by that Ziggs minefield, or cut off by that Anivia wall. There's a decent amount of terrain control and pick power coming in from both sides that you have to be very coordinated, or you will get picked off, and that will lead to disastrous follow-up fight.
Yeah, certainly could be very, very dangerous. And with our series side up at 1-1, things need to be very, very well executed for this game 3. Looking to jump out ahead at both these teams in the grand finals. Return of the Middlesticks and 1Life2Play will head at you here in just a few minutes. We'll be back right after a short intermission. UML grand finals right after this. Welcome everyone here to Summoner's Rift. It is time for game 3 of the grand finals in UML. One life to play and Return of the Middlesticks are all tied up at 1 game apiece as we get ready for what could be a momentum turning and series determining game. Is wonderful overshot here of Summoner's Rift. You can see a 2-man effort to push down, maybe get a ward out. Maybe no type though. Walking into a trap, hooked in. First blood, just like that. Oh my gosh, that was so well played. They thought there was going to be a bot lane push for a ward, but instead it was a 3-man stack and first blood over to 1Life, just like that.
What a big start to the game here. Mr. Steel, your Gromp already has 1 kill to his name, which means he's got himself that extra long sword. Also 400 gold faster to when he might start interacting in the game. Hopefully he interacts sooner rather than later, but we've seen his playstyle. He likes to get that first item online, and we need to see that change here because there's definitely a lot of jungler reliance coming in this top lane. You have a set versus the Camille, and if there's no jungle intervention, this Camille is just going to run away with this matchup, and it's not ever going to get better for the set.
Yeah, 1v1 side lane threat for Camille is basically unmatchable, except a few champions that require amazing skill ascendies. Look at that. Bonk on the head, Senior Ice at half HP already. That is why you grab yourself this Camille, just as you say it, Nightstar. And Braum Ash, very good at doing the same thing. Insta-procking that Braum passive, basically, with a hail of blades that Bark has picked up for himself. And Firelight back on this Anivia as well. So all the lanes for Return of the Middlesticks doing well to start things off, but we'll see how the scaling of the team fight comes through later in this game, because that's really what 1Life want. They want to play around the package, they want to play around the subtlety, but it's going to require finesse and skill in order to do so.
Big ticket cooldown. So now Tendies, he is taken quite low. Very good haymaker coming out from Senior Ice to set things up, and this is one of those matchups that set does win pretty hard early. However, now we're going to get 2v2 possibly up in this top side.
Under the turret, Tendy is trying to deny Senior Ice. Haymaker's not enough. Flash away, but the resonating strike will go through. But the
double
TP
buffs
from Firelight will get it. And indeed, Nightstar, that is double buffs over to Anivia plus this entire wave. Tendy should TP back mid. Instead, we'll just go top lane, and Bark is going to be collecting this one.
At the very least, they don't lose EXP here coming in from this wave crashing mid lane. I love the response coming in from that bot lane duo, and Tendies, he does get set behind just a little bit, at least in the EXP department, but no flash available onto Senior Ice. I feel like we're gonna see a lot more jungle intervention top side this game.
Yeah, definitely a volatile matchup up here, and with both flashes down, I mean, for Viego, I guess you could say in set, Camille never took one with the Ignite. I think this could get very, very interesting. Lee Sin with the most mobility, certainly, of all of them. Tendies, hook shot, wall dive, just to pressure Senior Ice, but no type is straight back up here. Can he sneak into the bush, though? I'm not sure that he has. Observer toggling vision pretty well, giving us an idea of what Senior Ice sees on the back end of this one. But there's a Spectral Maw out of the fog of war, and oh, vision be damned. Tendies will make it happen along with no type, and they grab the kill.
Very, very well executed there from No Type We Play. And now, I mean, it's just, how do you play that top side? He immediately goes and teleports back, and it's going to help salvage the wave, but he's in a bit of precarious position. And even in this mid lane against double buff Anivia, it's hard to force out this champion now because of the extra sustain. Does have that fade, and the extra mana, of course, helps out too. And now spotted on a ward is that Lee Sin pick. So bot lane trying to crash this wave as fast as they can and retreat afterwards.
Trying to get out. Loker. No, that hook was all too close from Fox. First time we're seeing him on a real engaged support. Trundle does not count as an engaged support. Pillar helps, but hook is just better, believe it or not, at actually starting off fights. So we'll see how he can go. Oh, for one of the hooks so far, but don't worry about that. Doesn't really matter. Got the one in top side, so we'll count that. So call it even on the hook meter. But this game is actually gotten very interesting because both kills have gone to 1Life jungler. Not exactly where you would want them. You want them on a lane to extend that advantage. But hey, at least Mr. Gromp on the Lee Sin is taking our advice and making things happen early on.
Yeah, and with this extra gold advantage, what he can do is just try and kill these laners non-stop if he's able to find these gank angles. As he's spotted here. Ooh, takes a long journey.
Follow through, but yeah, doesn't have enough damage just quite yet without level 6. And now no type is arriving. Spotted on a ward. We'll clear that one out, but decent gank effort there. Wave not in a great spot, and that's why no type is here. Just trying to help push this one out, but still no level 6.
Level 6 on Viego.
Romp indeed does have the Heartbreaker available. Working towards that center, but we'll just back away. Very scary things up there when top laners having their waves push away and junglers arriving, but we'll just fizzle out and head back down to the bot lane to see this freeze going up against. And very hard to deny CS from a Ziggs. So much range to work with. Plus the Nautilus there to pick up anything that he misses. And we'll just head back to farming.
We'll be able to crash that one pretty easily. The double daggers coming in from the Ashe, prioritizing that extra. The ability to just quickly proc the Braum passive as fast as possible here. And in that top side, we're going to see a lot of this top side as they're going to be trading back and forth pretty much non-stop. That's just what those champions are built to do. And Mr. Steel, your grab actually secures the second blue here, which is really unfortunate for Neural Network, as he will want that to try and shove the wave out. But now we should be getting close to when those big ticket cooldowns start coming online. That's when your packages are going to start arriving. And do they try and make some sort of big Herald play once that package does arrive?
Yeah, no option for a Drake play. That one's already gone down. Good stuff there from Mr. Gromp. Has been good with objectives all night. And that is not any different. Flash under the turret. Tendy's in trouble. The showstopper was good from Senior Ice, but not enough damage quite yet. Sidestep on the true damage. And Tendy's lives. Very, very slim margins, but escapes. Does not have teleport, so this wave may just go down, but Neural Network may just go down. Having a flash Valkyrie his way over the CC from Anivia. Firelight showing him who's boss there in mid lane, knowing that he can do the work. Loker has seen this play go wrong before. This time, we'll just make sure that Neural Network resets in a friendly position.
Yeah, and with the fact that we don't see Fox looking for that rotation, okay, bit of a scuffle there for some chickens, but all right, if the side of 1Life2Play do want to try and go for Herald play, it should be fairly uncontested here. There's no knowledge to try and force pressure. They also have the global power of this Ashe ultimate. And more importantly, they've got a pretty strong Camille to fight around if they want to. And also, by the way, Viego.
Yeah, that champion, man, is just so incredible. And one of the greatest things about Viego is you don't need to be ahead necessarily to, do Viego things. Yes, it feels nice when you're ahead and, you have a decent CS lead and have a kill like he does, but you don't need that. All you need is to possess an enemy and the game changes for 1Life. The fight turns around in a way. And Tendies could be walking into a trap here. Doesn't know that neural network is hiding around in that bush. There's hookshot, wall dive, and that's the signal to go.
No.
They can't find Briscoe yet. There's a word hop kick flash with a Hextech ultimatum. Tendies is perfectly fine. Flash use plus ulti, only for ulti trade. Firelight now, nice flash in and no type. Just takes down neural network, double killing over the Viego. And that was so well executed from the Rotom jungle. That is what you want on the Ruined King.
Right now, it's just execution difference coming out from the side of Return of the Middlesticks. They're just running away with this game now. Starting to open things up. Only a 1,500 gold lead, but Mr. Steal Your Gromp able to get the Nivea passive, but unable to finish her off means she gets to keep the blue buff for another rainy day. And, well, Necrox, we still haven't seen the package play yet.
Yeah, it's not been a factor this game at all, and Neural Network been set pretty far behind here. Even gonna have Fox hovering just to make sure things are okay. Just doesn't have that timer quite synced up. Waiting for 90 seconds though, maybe that would be the first time. Definitely want to keep that objective pacing up for 1Life. Don't want this game to go too late. There's another fight in the top side. Haymaker not going to find the true damage once again. Sitting your ice low, Tendies lower. And that set passive will come in handy now. Definitely regenning way more of that health than Tendies is. Probably just trying to shove this one in, but things could get very risky. You go too far forward. Hookshot, wall dive out of the turret. Yeah. Haymaker plus the shot ignite is down. Oh, Tendies, the outplay of a lifetime sends Senor Ice packing.
Had to ignite up. Can't walk up like that. He pays the price. Holds on to Q2, goes in, hookshot, wall dive, nails him with the Q2 ignite, and it's just easy does it. Too much burst damage. All that comes down before the Haymaker comes out, and there's just not enough shield to keep him alive. Firelight now looking to go on his own one-man invade mission, trying to secure himself his own blue buff, and I think it goes into no type we play, but it's still a blue buff denied from Elisa.
Package, meanwhile, is picked up. You can see the
Corki
glowing.
It's high.
Afterburner. Could make an angle happen, but Fox misses his anchor, so will not force a fight. And I think they're just going to go ahead and give this one up. No type could ulti over the wall if you wanted to try for a Miracle Seal. Bark has the Enchanted Crystal Arrow as well, but he's on a very weird approach angle. Arrow goes wide, and that's the go button.
Oh,
we're gonna find kill number one on the Senior Ice Bloker going low, but Boomer trying to run away, but he's gonna be slapped upside the head by Camille. Now Reset City is time. It is a fight secured by Return of the Middlesticks, and Drake secured by 1Life. Is there an angle? They're gonna find it. Indeed, they will. Ace. That early on is not what you want, Nightstar. Yes, you get Drake, but they lose everything else. Man, oh man, looking like a return in Game 3 for Return of the Middlesticks.
That was a play that was just that ended in disaster. It was absolute disastrous all around. Mr. Steal Ground was really focused on just trying to secure that dragon, whereas everyone else was kind of starry-eyed and a little bit dizzy. And the first package, not liking the vibes here. The Corki package went pretty haywire. Didn't get a great angle. Didn't cut off much of the fight. And it didn't really help out the backline as Boomer, he didn't get to really participate in that fight with the pressure coming in from the Camille teleport and rotations coming through. 6,000 gold advantage into the side of returning the Middlesticks. Is now they're just gonna kind of turn on the Jets again, I feel. 2,000 gold advantage up in the top side, 1,500 gold advantage in the mid and jungle. It's just a bit of an all-around clinic in this early stages in game number 3.
And return to the Middlesticks. We'll go ahead and say TY for Leash Boomer, as that ulti does not find very much. Enchanted Arrow, again, goes a little bit wide. Okay, our Absorber. Man, K-Tad, we're going to have a talk. I really thought that was going to hit Neural Network, and that was going to be why we followed it through. But instead, it's just Shelly charging on into the mid lane. Taken down. That tier 1 will open up the map pretty nicely for a champion like Viego, who likes to do a lot of sneaky maneuvering across Summoner's Rift, and Tendy's even more comfortable now in the side lane to just continue his dominating performance on this Camille. Bark will go ahead and collect top wave, and all is back to normal on Summoner's Rift. Is maybe even a pick angle here on Senor Ice. Does have his flash and ulti. Will use both to try to escape, but can he actually run away? Nice stun, but the wall is there and there's no more escape tools. He's just gone. Bark picks it up. Well played to not let the set escape, and the boss is down for the 4th time.
Not a great time coming in from Senor Ice. And now no type we play, trying to cut off this Corky's retreat. However, support being there will bail him out. And now it's Mr. Steal Your Gromp. Started out 2-1 very early on in this game, and it hasn't had much impact since. Sitting on Gore Drinker, but doesn't have the one-shot potential. Well, it has a little bit onto some of these backline carries, but it's still very difficult to actually get access to them because one is a Anivia and the second one is hanging out and chilling with a Braum.
I mean, there's just no easy angle to force a fight. I mean, look at the itemization difference. Look at the left side. You got Trinity Force, Sunderer, Leandries, and Shield Bow all completed, working on their second items. Right side, you got some weird looking axe thing. You got a Gorge Ranker, a Man Immune, and a Leandries. I mean, the itemization difference is just incredible. 1v2 under the chart does not go your way. Shut down, gratefully given over to Fox. Neural Network nearly straight up died in a 1v2 with a Nautilus by his side. That is how rough things are. Tendy's tried his hand, but sadly, when you go T1 alpha mode, it doesn't always work out.
It definitely did not work out, and especially with these items, you don't exactly have the durability to just dive tier 2 at this stage in the game. Still very, very close to the Ravenous Hydra, and that's going to be an incredibly frightening prospect. They're hoping and praying that this Corky has enough range and wave clear to deal with the split push, but now Firelight collapse on all angles. Can he fight his way out?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Good God, they're throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this guy. And they're going to get him shut down over to the very, very hungry Senor Ice. His first kill of the game. A way back in for sure. Drake on the other side will be secured by Rodham to slow down that objective stacking that was going on. But on the other side of the map, it is a push onto the top tier 1. So at least Rodham gets something in return for Firelight's misbehavior. But will definitely be punished heavily. Didn't want to give up that shutdown, but that is a paycheck in the right hands.
It is a nice collection there for the side of 1Life2Play. And now, looking forward. 4.5 minutes to Dragons. Definitely decent ways to go. We'll see what items they're able to complete on the side of 1Life2Play in the meantime, to try and close that gap, to try and find that pick here. Hopefully we do get the Mythic completed by that time for Neural Network. And Mr. Steve Gromp Saying hello to the bird and kicks the bird.
Oh! Firelight's in a lot of trouble. Flashing away from the Super Inferno Bomb. Will not get any damage. Hook goes wide from Fox as well. That was some clean moves. But now Neural Network's in trouble. That package was not it. Plus the Valkyrie combination, but No Type is now found reset number 1. Hooked back. CC is enough. And another shutdown, sadly given up. He's alive. Facebreaker to buy some time, but Firelight's gone one more. And now Senior Ice is trapped between a bird, a wall, and a shield. There's no way out, and Rodham collapsed in the enemy jungle.
Return to the Middlesticks. They find that fight, and it is clean. And the one caveat in the fact that they lost to Viego. Well, taking the Corki actually was a bait because he got squishier. He didn't regen much HP. He lost HP.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a man immune. You don't want that. You got better items. You feed, so when they kill you, they're bad. Ah, yeah. All right, Ninestar, I see this strategy.
It's genius. There's just no durability on this Corki, so immediately when he takes that Corki soul, he just gets popped right away. However, if he's Viego, he's definitely not squishy because he has the complete Divine Sunder along with the Sterix, and we're going to see Ravenous Hydra be completed. And 2 items completed all around except for this Ashe, which I assume is very, very close to having that Wit's End completed, and that's going to help out a lot in these fights, dealing with the Corki magic damage and the Ziggs magic damage, and this means she can just continue to pump out endless amounts of damage.
Yeah, all those slows, all the damage, stacking up Braum, as you said before, all that extra ability to layer on the CC. Now, biggest objective on the map, of course, is the Baron, as our observer so wonderfully toggles the vision around there. It's complete darkness for 1Life, but honestly, if I'm 1Life, I'm not too worried about it for now. Yes, they take it quickly, but you have Ziggs ult to check. You have Lee Sin who can do that pretty efficiently as well. My worry is this Drake. Because if you're 1Life, this game has not been going well. You're 7,000 gold down, but one thing that you've had going for you is Mr. Celia Grom's objective control that has stopped recently, but is not too far away from a soul win condition.
Yeah, and there's a number of ways to try and play it. If they're able to get a steal, that is probably the most reasonable possibility. That is also a good result for them. However, they do have the ability to concede it if they want to, but the bigger issue is the fact that Baron has now been started up here. 45 seconds before Dragon, they're on the big purple worm, and they're just too occupied bot side.
Tendies, by the way, running diversion once again. Hookshot wall dive does not get him out, and this time it's Boomer to grab it, but Baron's been secured. Tendies was just a bait, my friend. Oh, how does it feel? You get one, but you lose out on Baron, and not gonna call that one worth. And because there's Baron, may be able to take a 4v5 angle here. Tendies does have teleport in 20 odd seconds, but they're gonna lay the trap. Arrow doesn't find the original target. That means able to get away for now. Knockup is good though. In from Loker, kick back into the squad. Big damage though with the super mega rocket. Able to find a little bit more with a bomb over the top from Boomer to Walrus. Now resets in, flash over the wolves, looking for Boomer. Another ulti, may be able to find it, but nice dodge on the hook. Fox trying to peel, will force the disengage, but Rodham willing to fight at every turn, even in a 4v5. Tendies does not need to TP in, and it will tie this Drake count up 2-2.
It makes sense, right? They're all 11k gold up. There's just so much money into their pockets that they can take any fight that they wish, as long as it's not too far out. Maybe not Tendies' approach of 1v4. That probably wouldn't work out very well, as we've seen numerous times already. But If it's a 4v5, they have more than enough extra battle stats to make up for that one-man differential.
Certainly it does a lot for them here. I mean, getting a top laner picked off and being able to just force a fight. Fox is dead. Literally just couldn't move, by the way. But back to the
Interactive
point I was
gameplay.
making. That's why you banned Anivia, by the way. Back to the point I was making. Yeah, I mean, they're so far ahead. They have Baron in what was a 2.5 man effort on it. They turned that into a 4v5 fight win, and Tendies didn't even need to think about TPing in that one. It wasn't even close, and so good here from Return of the Middlesticks in the later stages of this series. Senior Ice may be in some trouble as well. Knockup doesn't need it at all. The kill was there. Firelight's unstoppable on this Anivia. They'll knock down top lane, they'll knock down bot lane, they'll knock down mid lane, and they might even knock over Neural Network in a couple autos. Tendi's just gonna keep on pushing with this split push build. Yeah, there's just no one to match him. Not even, I mean, Neural Network with package at this point can match. And I think 1Life, no, this one's over. One last shot with a package here.
Here comes the Hail Mary attempt. I think they're going to use it bot side.
Okay, Tendi's going in. He's already gotten kill number 1. Now
He's
the
getting
Hextech
2.
Ultimatum looking for kill number 2. Finally, he dies again. But this time it's given over to Neural Network. Not sure how big that shutdown was. Hopefully we can learn, but shouldn't have been all too massive. I'm not sure if it's whether the 150 on the top of my screen or if it was more than that. But regardless, I'm not sure that Tendi's going down there makes all that big of a difference, as Return of the Middlesticks have outclassed 1Life2Play every single minute of this game, and the entire base is now in shambles.
Just really running away with it at this point here. Tendi's play has been good in lane and pretty much irrelevant afterwards, but it's kind of just impact here. But okay, here's the Hail Mary.
Okay, they're going for it. Taking low is Barkin Loker, but Senior Ice is down for kill number 1. And here comes Reset City. It is Population 1Life. As No Type going for to find the kills, and the flank angle does not find any rewards. They can have their cake and eat it too. It is all Return of the Middlesticks here on out. They will end this game in dominant fashion. Neural's gonna die. There is just no life to give. And this one was all over from minute 1. Return of the Middlesticks will knock down 1Life after a disastrous start to the series. They force this blue side victory and will happily take us to series point.
Return of the Middlesticks, they dropped game number 1, but they respond in such a strong fashion in games 2 and 3. You know, I thought we had a series at the start, but there's just no answers coming in from the draft phase for the side of 1Life2Play. That seems like that might have just been their one trick.
And I understand where 1Life are coming from with their bans, but they won game 1. They were back on the side that they wanted. I don't know exactly why things needed to change. I mean, you had the Trundle Swain thing. Yeah, you could change that. You're back on an AP bot lane, so that's fine. But top side just fell apart this game. I mean, it just was so rough up there that I'm not sure bot lane picks even mattered in this game, but Return of the Middlesticks, so good. I mean, there's just so many angles where they found different picks, they found dives. 1Life2Play just seemed unprepared for this game, and that's really strange to say considering they looked overly prepared for game 1 on the exact same sides.
It just feels like they locked in the Ziggs and never even considered pivoting it over into the mid lane, which would have been a fine matchup, would have allowed you to go straight back over towards the Swain Trundle combination that Against Ash, yes, she has range, but she's extremely vulnerable and susceptible to getting picked off. And you could have just hard slammed that bottom side with the Lee Sin over and over and over again. But it looked like in this game, they wanted to play more towards top side, and you saw a lot of plays happening top side, but all of them just went in favor of Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, a lot of plays, but not a lot of victories there on top side. And one more victory for Return of the Middlesticks would end this one out. We'll see how things close off here in the final stages of our best of 5. Maybe our final game lies ahead. If you do want to take part in the action for yourself, though, make sure to check out the fall signups for Unified. Maybe you think you can do better than Loker on Gragas. Maybe you think you can do better than Mr. Steal Gromp on Jarvan. Or maybe you just want to take on some of these players for yourselves. Go ahead and check it out over there. The link will be in chat, I'm sure, or check in the Unified Discord. We'll be right back, though, with the grand finals in just a few. Welcome back, everyone. I told you it wouldn't be long, and we're right back here on Unified Live. It is time for what could be our final game, 1Life2Play versus Return of the Middlesticks. And 1Life have chosen blue side for this final game. You already mentioned it right before this. First pick Lee Sin, back to Swain Trundle, lethality Jarvan. Who knows what we'll get? It's all a question yet to be answered.
Game number 4, backs against the wall. 1-2. Can they activate the perks buff? That's the real question here, because they need 2 in a row to steal away that first place prize. And it doesn't look pretty. They got that one win really off of a lot of cheese, but cheese in draft, but then really overperformance coming in from the Jarvan, and then also just having a better team fight composition. And while they did have an improved team fight composition in game 3 over game 2, you saw the lanes just fell behind a little bit too hard here. They need better lanes, and part of that comes from, hey, just having that Swain Trundle lane to say, all right, well, we're going to be able to assert ourselves down here. That also means that if jungler decides to come down, we have kill pressure, but then we can also allocate that power elsewhere if need be.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it, I feel like, and we've talked about this a lot, has come down to the draft. And while it may seem weird, I mean, you can play whatever you want, basically get away and win with it. It becomes so different on how you play the game. And if your team is not prepared to execute on a game plan that you have not drafted previously, it just becomes that much harder, and you can't expect everything out of every team. And I want to see One Life go back to comfort. I want to see them execute on a game plan that they know how to win, but with still having the tools needed to win early game and win team fights. I think they did that pretty well in game one, but it is time now for draft and see what we got on store. Aurelia, of course, going to be banned away. That is no surprise at all. But what questions have yet to be answered are the last ban. I think the last ban has always been determinant of where this draft goes.
That is certainly true here, and I don't mind an early Trundle pick. Yes, you can play or draft against the Trundle pretty easily, but at the same time, you do have flex potential if Mr. Steal Gromp is willing to take that champ. The issue is it doesn't exactly scale well off of farming, which is what he's been seemingly trying to do here so far in this series. And well, Viego banned away, Tom Kench. Irelia, Gwen, and Nivea also taken off the table. Not a lot of change from 1Life2Play, but it does mean that Xin Zhao is left available.
Yep, they are actually opting to ban the Jarvan instead of the Xin Zhao. Obviously, way better in the current meta Xin Zhao, but because of the performance that Mr. Grump had in game one, the mentals are not ready to deal with it again. So Return of the Middlesticks will leave that champion open, grab themselves the Ezreal again to just ensure that if there is a Swain Trundle bot lane, they can deal with it with as much safety as necessary. And if Ezreal's dealing with it 1v2, guess what? You can get a roaming support. The Bard is in. And One Life now have a big decision to make. I think the biggest one of this series. Do you go with the Swain Trundle or do you do something else? So far, they're hovering the Seraphine, which can be flexed, but hey, we know not every champion they are willing to flex.
Seraphine does get locked in here. You can definitely throw that into the bottom lane to try and match that Ezreal and just essentially turn that into a bit of a farm lane and pick yourself up another roaming support. It's hard to match the roaming power coming in from Bard, and they will just go ahead, lock in Ziggs Seraphine. That could be the bot lane duo. It could also be the bot and mid combination. So a couple of options available to them. The Seraphine's not that bad of a support in this regard as well, given the fact that, well, you want to be able to scale through a lane. Well, what better lane to scale than a 1v2 or 2v1 lane where you don't really have to interact. You have also the option to walk around and roam, but the instant response is going to be Xerath. A lot of extra range coming in from Return of the Middlesticks, and I love this adaptation. You have the range to deal with some of the range coming in from Ziggs, and more importantly, you also have the range to poke out a Seraphine if it is mid-Seraphine.
Yeah, and I think that's the read here for Return of the Middlesticks. They are reading into One Life draft saying, hey, we know your limits on flexibility, and at least one of these is going to be going mid lane, and that means we can pick a Xerath to match the range. We'll see if that comes true. I like the Ornn ban here from One Life. They are taking away the so-called Exodia draft. They're no longer able to just layer the two box ultimates back to back. No knock up into charm or the vice versa combo. So that one will be taken away along with a Shen. Extra shielding that could be a little bit annoying. Banning away that Camille. Love to see it along with a Trundle. A very strong pick indeed. And what could be One Life on death's door here. Need to figure out what is the game plan. The miracle run could come to an end now with these final two picks. Return of the Middlesticks. Thinking about their R4, probably a jungle here. I would almost certainly guarantee, and Lee Sin still up, Lee Sin taken.
Lee Sin still up, and that will be locked in. No Type We Play had a decent performance onto the Lee Sin. It was very difficult for him to truly get online against a very team fight heavy composition, but the small movements that we did see from him were pretty solid. But now 1Life2Play looking for their next pick. They will go back onto that set in the top lane. Now we get to see if it's going to be mid Seraphine or support Seraphine. They do know it is going to be a Xerath in the mid lane, so they have the option to counter pick themselves.
That could go for something very aggressive like a Tristana, a Zed, but Nope. Once again, there's not that flexibility. They don't feel comfortable doing it. And so Foxplay back on this Nautilus. And now switching over the attention to the other side. Return of the Middlesticks have their possibility to really mess up this draft top lane counter pick for attendees. Big index here. What do for it? Riven still available. Wasn't a great start, to be honest, to the Riven gameplay. So instead, they'll opt out, take the Crocodile up there. The Renekton is in.
The Renekton set matchup, not exactly the same as the Camille set matchup, which I would say is heavily in favor of the Camille. This time around, Renekton goes better toe-to-toe in the early game against the set, but I would also say set is going to be able to somewhat outscale this matchup. So it's up to Tendies to really lane kingdom this matchup as hard as possible. If he's up 60 CS, he will be a threat in that 1v1. But the most intriguing pick of this draft has to be the Bard Xerath combination. The Bard's going to be able to run around the map after level 3 and just really wreak havoc on all these lanes.
Yeah, Ezreal doesn't care much about Nautilus as well. The interaction is there with the Arcane Shift for Duck, so he can escape no problem. Yeah, his turret will take a little bit of a beating, but it's going to take a beating regardless. Bard being there doesn't stop Ziggs from doing what Ziggs does, using that passive to take down the turret quite quickly and then finishing it off with the satchel. So, all right. Could be final draft locked in here in game 4. Return of the Middlesticks and 1Life2Play, both ready for what could be our final match. Nightstar, I gotta ask you, whose draft do you prefer? I'm on the train that 1Life are back to comfort, and that's good. But of course, I just love the way that Return of the Middlesticks has been drafting all series.
I think the adaptations Return of the Middlesticks have done since game 1 have really paid off here. And in game number 4, they also have a pretty comfortable draft. And for the side of 1Life2Play, I think it comes down to how willing are you to dive this bottom side. If they're able to just constantly force dives around this Xin Nautilus, then they have a life to have or a life to play around here in this game number 4. And it just comes down to Mr. Steely Ground's willingness to play really far forward.
Okay, we'll see how aggressive he can be. Obviously, incredible performance in game 1, if not better than just forcing dive. He was everywhere across the map. Xin Zhao, not exactly Jarvan, but basically Jarvan. Does very similar things in team fights. Very zone-oriented, early ganker, likes to get involved. Same thing with the Lee Sin, though. And no type we play just had a banger Lee Sin game for Return of the Middlesticks. So definitely could be a very interesting matchup in the jungle. Both these junglers looking to head basically to the same place, and that is probably top lane. If you're not willing to dive super early, they're just going to go top and help this volatile melee matchup out and get one snowballing against the other.
Yeah, it should just be all about that top side once more in this game, unless if they do try and dive 3v1 onto that Ezreal, taking advantage of that Bard roaming around a lot. But at the same time, this Bard is just going to be constantly influencing these solo lane matchups. And for the side of Return of Middlesticks, it's been all about these solo laners. So look for them to get ahead once more. And for the side of 1Life2Play, try and find those team fights. How do these first couple objective fights, how do they go?
Yeah, that's the name of the game. And 1Life2Play only have one life left to give here, or they are out and going home with second place and Return of the Middlesticks. Looking to close things out here with the expected victory for themselves, but it's not over yet. Nightstar and I will be right back after a short intermission, and we'll be back with game 4 of the grand finals here in UML. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome everyone to Summoner's Rift. It is time for Game 4 of UML Grand Finals. I am Necrox, of course, still joined by Nightstar. And what a series it has been so far. Relatively back and forth, but now it's do or die for 1Life. Return of the Middlesticks have this series in their grasp and can almost feel that cash in their bank accounts. Just one game away from ending it all.
Oh, so close here, and well, with all the attention that should be brought up to that top side, I think Loker actually set down 2 shrines, heal shrines for attendees up in the top side. Yep. So we all know what's about to happen. It's all about this top side. Whether we get investment coming in from these junglers or Loker will make a level 3 roam once he hits that level. Just peace out of this bottom lane. We'll have to find out, but you better believe there's going to be action topside.
Oh, for sure. Both these junglers as well. Look at them. They're starting bot side. They know where they want to get up to. It is all about this matchup in top lane. Game 1, Senior Eyes had the better over attendees for sure on the Ornn versus Riven matchup. Almost saw the Riven come back out, but instead attendees went for this Crocodile. And should be a very interesting one to watch up there. The one that I'm not so interested to watch are the other lanes. It is Xerath Seraphine, which is not interesting at all. And then a Ziggs Ezreal, so also not interesting. So it's going to be a lot of topside focus from us this game. And so far, Senior is playing very, very respectful of what Tendies can do at level 1. And I think that is a good thing. As I say that, though, goes for a quick little trade. And hey, what do you know? Wins out.
Yeah, at the very least, with the set pick, you are going to outscale. You also have just a lot of sustain in these trades, so you're going to be able to match the Renekton in that regard. But a quick crash of the wave is going to set him up beautifully for what is, of course, going to be this top 2v2 skirmish that should happen.
What do you know? Tendies just went back and collected his shrines too. So he's at full HP with his pot still available. And remember, it does have D Blade instead of the D Ring. Waiting for level 3. There's the stun available. Flash away. Threat of the Ruthless Predator is too much.
Here we go.
Little do they know, no type is sitting in the brush. This is such a good bait. In you go,
Hello?
the audacious charge. But it was red so far ahead of time, and it's first blood to return.
They even bring that top lane teleport and fire lane. He hasn't even bought yet. This is really, really poor timing for him. But now 1-for-1 trade. Okay. What a big dive there. Yes, you trade one back. No type we play dies for that. But they get maximum value out of it. You deny so much CS there. Yeah, just going back to Firelight, that teleport is going to be very punishing for him, given the fact that he hasn't bought yet. Doesn't have the extra item. And now he's going to come back having to deal with the wave. But oh, this bot side.
Oh, what a hook in. Bark has to flash. That was so beautiful from Fox, but barely able to live there. Bark needs to be very wary about the possibility of a move down towards his side, but we'll be okay for now. Goodness, this game has gotten off to a great start, and Tendies couldn't have asked for a better one for himself. Counter jungling will be semi-successful as Loker's now arriving. No type is here as well. Hook back in, but I don't think they have the damage to kill Bark, and no, they do not. It is no type involved again, and no type killing once more. Return of the Middlesticks are hot, hot, hot to start things.
Rotations are just better, and now they're on to the Xin.
Can they kill him as well? I don't know. No, the answer is no. We'll be able to retreat, but they are not backing down, Nightstar. Loker and no type. You see these two walking around together? Yeah, that's going to happen a lot more as this game goes on.
Yeah, and the big thing was Mr. Steal Your Gromp. He just got back onto the map, and already he has to go ahead and recall. That means there's just so much extra space given over to No Type We Play. And this has kind of been the difference in execution coming in from the junglers. No Type We Play has been willing to play far forward and look for these invades. Now we're going to see a 1v1.
Okay, Tendies was very ahead, but cloth armor in for Senior Ice means it's a little bit more rough than you would imagine. Quick debrief pause on your screen. That is because of some technical difficulties we had earlier on. But do not worry about that. Should be coming back pretty soon. For now, we just get a nice view of Summoner's Rift. This is kind of relaxing.
Yeah.
Just seeing everyone chill out. No
Really,
fighting.
really tranquil.
Oh, never mind. Back to the chaos.
All right. Unfortunate. Unlucky.
I was enjoying that.
But yeah, we're going to see these junglers. I mean, Xin, he's just... I feel so doomed from the Xin perspective. He's got to look for yet another gank, more than likely straight back into his top side. We should see yet another 2v2 lane gank coming in from this Xin. And on the flip side, Tendy is just going to wait for this Lee Sin to slowly path top side before he also looks for a play. But Ward kind of gives up that plan. Yet another invade.
Yeah, they're just going straight back for it, and not much vision to protect Senior Ice here. This could be dive yet again. Level 6
already
this
left.
time for Senior Ice. Diving set is not the easiest thing, let me tell you that much. Facebreaker used, stun, and there's just no counterplay. Just immediately dead in one shot, and that was so well executed to layer the CC perfectly. Return to the Middlesticks are bullying this top lane.
So Necrox.
Yes.
I heard you said diving a set was difficult.
I mean, most of the times it's not the easiest thing to do, but that one...
I agree.
That's not set, man. That ain't Falco. That's a different champion. That was like Yumi
You
top.
say set?
I wonder? Are you
You say set? They say bet. And boy, they just take it to him. I mean, when you have Firelight in this mid lane, he's going to be able to contribute a lot faster than this Seraphine. Seraphine still has yet to leave lane. And you have that level 6 onto the Xerath. You can just add that extra little bit of damage. And it's just been such a clean early game from the side of Return to Middlesticks. This was one of the questions we had for them after semifinals. It was like, hey, you guys are running away with this, but how much of it is your execution and how much it was just the fact that you had such great drafts over the other team?
I mean, you got to give credit to Return of the Middlesticks for understanding the game plan here. Clearly, that level 3 gank was read. Loker does have a portal to escape here, and a stun in case anyone comes through, but Drake actually being started. This one has been spotted by that control ward. Knows something is afoot. Okay, we're in there, trying to steal the Drake, and he's
Good
got
leash.
it secured. Now locked up, knocked up. Loker, beautiful hook in from Fox to find the kill. Double on over to the
double buffs.
Xin Zhao, but he will be slain now. How many shots do you land? Not a lot, but I think they have him. No flash instead. No one wants to flash follow, so we'll be able to live. Just a little bit more poke on the back end. And Return of the Middlesticks, they lose that Drake and a few more members, maybe more than they were expecting.
Mr. Steal Your Gromp comes in clutch, finds the dragon secure, gets himself 2 kills as well, and he gets himself back into the game. However, at the same time, Firelight, finds himself a double buffs. That's pretty damn nice if you're an artillery mage, and Tendy's looking to do a little bit of filthy farming behind the tower, but what do you know? Mr. Steal Gromp's on that blue buff. He is close by.
Yeah, there's a flash in second. Tendies is now in a little bit of a bad spot. Does have a lot of damage though. Oh my god.
Thanks for the blue, buddy.
That crocodile just ripped through Steal Your Gromp, and there just is nothing left.
Oh my lord, it was set up so perfectly, but they just didn't have the defensive stats to deal with how far ahead this man is. Has a completed Blade of the Rune King. He's 4-0-0. He has 20 CS advantage topside. He's going to get a Rift Herald to boot, more than likely. Well, actually, with how few plates there are topside, they might just throw it elsewhere because they know he's going to be able to get him himself. And now, this is not it, though.
Bart exhausted. Cleanse, it's a summoner spell, and Bart felt like using it there because he hasn't used it all game, so might as well use it on that one. Flash stun is a little ambitious from Firelight. Now he has to walk away as he's now trapped. The rest of the team is here, though. Nice little bit of shrine there, shooting off some shots. Say all you want, Twitch chat. Neural Network did not see any blue ring above him there. That was a few missed shots on the mage, and now flash away from Loker from the audacious charge, plus the Crescent Guard. A couple important cooldowns being burned, but we'll just go back to normalcy as Tendies continues to bully out Mr. Poor Senior Ice here on top lane.
Yeah, it's not going to get any better. He's got the Bramble Vest. That's not enough here. Against the Blade of the Rune King, so much sustain already coming out here. Just going to body him. There's going to be a Seraphine to try and help him out here, but there's still 2.5 minutes to defend that last tower play. I don't know about you, Necrox, but I'm pretty certain that this final plate will fall into the hands of the Renekton's. We get to see gold pulled up. It's already 2k gold advantage topside, man.
That's rough. And that's like the entire lead for Return of the Middlesticks. The good news for 1Life is that they might have a pick here. Yeah, they should have him. No, the Guardian is in. Okay, yes. They'll finish him off. Now hook into stun. But no type is here. Slow into Fox, who's on a mana. Nice. Stun there from Loker. Won't be able to allow his Lee Sin to go any further. But the point I was making before we got into that little mid-skirmish where Firelight lost his life was that the entire lead for Rodham is on top lane. And they have a decent, I'm not going to say great, but a decent composition in dealing with him. You have so much range on Zig Seraphine. But if he doesn't start to build a lot of magic resist, damage can pile up over time. But of course, as I say that, though, I realize that Neural Network is going to support build, so less magic damage and just on Ziggs.
It's going to be a lot of durability, though, with the extra healing and shielding from the Seraphine. Certainly isn't a bad prospect, and at the very least, again, like the set is going to do more for the team in these team fights. That's the key point. In these team fights, it's going to be very difficult for this Renekton to get value here, unless if he gets really nice flanks, because the moment he shows up, he's just going to get set ulted. And now a possible dive. Not much of a dive.
This is so good. Bard ulti out of the turret. And yeah, Neural Network has no shot of escaping that. Lee Sin is too much mobility. And Neural just goes down for standing on a mid lane turret. That was really well played by Loker to only hit the turret and not the enemy. But this is a good counter response from 1Life. They're going to go ahead and work on this bot lane turret. But meanwhile, top side's going down, mid lane's going down. And while it might be a good response, it certainly isn't a great one because they'll lose out on cash across the rift.
They lose out on so many plates there. The top turret goes down, mid turret goes down, and while they are able to get themselves that bottom tower, it's not enough to make up the gold differential, and so much is on the back of this Ziggs. Ziggs probably the best scaling bot lane champion at the moment, but can he work his magic here in this game number 4 with their playoff dreams on the line?
Okay, looking for the kill. They're going to find it. Crescent Guard able to get out Smite. Now Loker wants to chase down. Doesn't have any slows. Here comes the shots. Not one landed. Bomb gets a lot. Burning Loker. No, Tendies gets the kill.
And they get the shutdown.
Fox looking for it. There's a nice encore. not able to find it, and shutdown is given to Boomer. That is what you need if you're One Life.
And that's honestly just absolutely monumental. Yes, they do lose the dragon, but no one really cares if you're able to get such a massive shutdown bounty into the hands of the Ziggs. Ziggs, he skyrockets in net worth here, being able to capitalize that. He's got 2K in the bank. He's going to be halfway to his next item. Firelight will find that wave up top side, and as things stand, it is a 3K gold advantage for the side of returning to the Middlesticks. Mythic's starting to come through here across the board. And I mean, the big thing to note is while you have 1.5 items onto this Ziggs, look at this Crocodile. He's got a full 2 items.
Yeah, Tendies is very, very large on this Renekton. Sadly, shutdown does not stop him from getting gold. It's just getting yourself some gold, so it's still a threat. Tendies neural network will probably have to be very respectful of that in this instance. Could slice his way through the wave. As the rest of the team doing what they need to top side. Do keep an eye on the inventories though. Almost a mythic in from Senior Ice. He will be very strong at that point. But Boomer is honestly what One Life needs. They need him to go crazy in these fights. They need that extra poke damage, but they need to not walk in blind. There they go for the fight. Loker, nice stun onto 1, but the Facebreaker's enough. Nice flash. Plus the Bard ulti to get to safety. Loker will be able to escape. Fox hooks forward, trying for more. But Bark just wailing away with those Mystic shots. Doesn't do too much damage for now, but will become pretty important late game. Very scary aspect, and X-Flash channeled. Everything will just disengage for now, Nightstar, but these two teams obviously very willing to skill check one another, and you can see Mr. Seogromp not giving up faith on this game.
While that all is happening there, see what the pivot is coming in from the side of 1Life2Play. They understand, hey, our team fight is good. It's definitely very, very powerful here, and the fact that there's no teleport onto this Renekton means that we can look for this 5v4 fight, knowing that there's no way for the Renekton to join unless if he tries to pass all the way through jungle, and now they're going to collapse onto him instead.
Yeah, I think they got him. They're going to get it.
Boomer!
Yeah, Boomer. Second time. That one wasn't a shutdown, but it's a kill all the same. That's the second time Tendies has been caught out. Those are his only deaths, by the way. A little too far extended, and maybe it's his team that needs to put down a little bit more vision for him, or himself. With wards available, Firelight will be fine to escape from Hex Splash from Fox. But okay, Tendies going down means maybe there's an angle here to continue the side lane pressure. But the real problem right now, Nightstar, isn't picking off Tendies. It's actually getting these sideways pushed and getting map pressure and vision control back.
Yeah, picking off Tendies hasn't been an issue in this entire series, to be fair, because he's just played with pretty much reckless abandon. It's been up to his team to be able to find things while he's getting picked off, because he's literally under tier 2 towers or tier 3 towers, trying to just be as bloodthirsty as possible, and sometimes his teams just doesn't have the waves set up or have the vision set up that, you know, they're ready to immediately turn on to things like a dragon or a baron. And it's up to Tendies to try and be a little bit more patient. But that's a fast pace.
Patience, or just find a kill right here, right now. And they've got one on Fox. Here comes the shots again.
One more.
This time he goes down. Rank 2 ulti means he's got one extra shot, and he makes it count as looking for 2 fights at the same time. Meanwhile, mid lane neural network's going to go down under the tier 2 in the bot side. They get him. Yes, ignite from Loker ticks in time, and Happy return to the Middlesticks may have just like that put the finishing touches on this series. Grand finals, and they show up when they need to. Base open, bot lane now under fire, and dragon now being taken.
First Inferno Dragon going to be taken at 1940 here. That's going to set them well on their way. Shut this game down. Extra little bit of damage is going to help out, especially this Xerath. And well, Senior Ice, he's just hoping he can finish this tower off before he dies. And that's all he's going to get.
Yeah, even gonna give an assist there to Lokert with the healing. Maybe worth his life at this point, but now you're in a 5v4 for 30 seconds. You can use everything necessary to continue to push, or they'll just back up and wait for one more real fight to come about. Gold lead now says it all. 7,000 for Return of the Middlesticks. And the series has been all about adaptation, Nightstar. Game 1, swiftly and decisively to 1Life, but after that, it has been all Return of the Middlesticks. And they have played it so well, and they played the regular season so well. They deserve definitely a place here in finals, and it looks like tonight they deserve to be your grand champs.
Pretty much absolute dominance coming out from them in games 2, 3, and now 4. Yes, the kill score isn't as dominant. The gold lead has been there, and now they're trying to still look for these skirmishes, and this Ziggs is doing all he can, but is it enough?
Okay, a little bit of poke back and forth. Bark hopping forward. Loker half. Tendies is still bot lane, by the way. Does have the teleport if necessary, but do they go even further? Bark, nice flashery over the wall, and that was so clean from Bark. Outplays Fox through and through, baiting him a hook back onto the terrain, and a true shot barrage to finish it off. And Tendies is being unmarked here in bottom lane. 1Life are just moments, minutes away from losing grand finals. They need to get things together, or this one's going to be all but gone. Finally, they'll send 2 back to try to answer, but now Baron is being taken. 1Life, they have to get in. There has to be a miracle steal. I'm not sure they can win this game. 9k gold down plus Baron, but they're going to decide to give it up. All hopes and dreams of grand champion 1Life are slipping away. Mr. Studio Grump now needs to run, but instead he's been tagged by a slow and slain. Firelight picks it up, and Return of the Middlesticks own everything.
It's now just a bit formalities here as we take a look at the final gold tallies before we probably go into that last fight. It's still this Renekton, an absolute terror. 12k gold in his hands, has a 5,000 gold differential advantage over this set. And while Boomer, he's trying his best, he's got 200 farm, he's 3-1-0, has gotten double shutdowns in this game. It's not been enough. He's sitting at 10k gold and much higher than the rest of his team, but he needs way too many items.
Honestly, props to Tendies, props to No Type as well. Performing incredibly well. Swapping out with Loker as well, the jungler previously, now playing support, who has had an incredible series as well. Haven't had as much time to talk about him this game, but first 2 games, very, very well played from him. As I say that, Loker has to flash his way out of the engage there from Fox, who had found him lurking a little bit too far forward. But with Baron, Ezreal, and Xerath, things get very dangerous for 1Life as the siege and the poke all starts to rally up. Now they're looking for him one more time. Nice crescent guard from Mr. Celia Gromp. But this has to be the line in the sand. This has to be X marks the spot for 1Life. They're going for the play now. They're going to look onto Tendies. Nice damage over the top, but he just won't die. Exhaust doesn't matter. He's going to be saved by Loker as well. Going golden. Bart going forward. Double kill on over to Rodham's AD carry. Firelight's going in for kill number 3, and he's putting the shots over the top to boot, and he's got him. He hits every single one. Flashing forward to the end, doesn't land it, but he gets the W, which is unmissable. It is 5-0 with a triple kill to Firelight and a double to Bark to end it out. Ladies and gentlemen, your grand champions of UML, Return of the Middlesticks, win it all.
ROTM with an absolute dominant games 2 through 4. They absolutely ran away with the latter half of this series. And while it was well planned out, game one approach coming in from 1Life2Play, they only had one game plan to play. And after that, that was it.
All fell short for One Life. Condolences for their loss. Hey, at least they get a cash prize. May not be able to buy so many League skins or an entire Scout GPU, but there's cash headed their way. And a huge congratulations to Return of the Middlesticks. Obviously, they deserve this win. They are the better team at the end of the night. They were better on the day and better throughout the regular season as well. And champions are champions in Return of the Middlesticks. Prove to everyone watching and all the doubters tonight that they truly are kings.
Yeah, they showed up. They played incredibly well here, and these solo laners truly, truly shined. A rough game number one, but it made up in spades afterwards. And yeah, it's not a whole lot to say still. Shout out to Boomer, he tried.
Yeah.
He gave an effort. He brought in the mage bot laners, which a lot of players aren't willing to play down in that bot side, even when it is viable. We know how stubborn bot lane players are. But he went out and tried to go that extra mile. Unfortunately, not enough to win this series.
Yeah, sadly, not enough. And definitely some highlight moments to take away from everyone on One Life. And of course, a plethora and a myriad of highlights from Return of the Middlesticks. But that'll just about do it for us tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. In case you're interested in playing instead of just spectating for once, instead of just sitting there typing away on your keyboard, you actually want to get involved in the action. It doesn't even have to be League. You can play League of Legends, you can play R6, you can play Rocket League, you can play Valorant. Unified has it all. Make sure to check out the link in chat. It is there for you to sign up for the fall season in case you want to get involved yourself. But that'll do it for us here in UML. Thank you all for being patient viewers, and we will see you next time next season. See you then. Stay safe. Have a good evening.